And we are live.
Welcome to the podcast ever. I'm Mung Dahl. And today we're joined by the legendary Papa John.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Why don't you introduce yourself?
So my name's Papa John. I'm notorious for saying certain words on record and losing my pizza business.
Did you lose it, or did you just have to step away from the public eye?
I believe I had to resign as CEO.
Well, the thing is about you, Papa, you said it as a way to explain what not to say, and they took you out of context.
Yeah, it's the SJW's new age media. It's the worst.
Is that actually what happened?
That's what I heard. Papa explained this. Yeah. Papa John. I think he was also on Timcast, the actual guy. If I recall, he was all like, yeah, no, they took me out of context. I was just telling them what not to say, in certain instances, and they had me say the word. I think they were trying to kick me out. I think he was convinced they were trying to kick him out of the company, oust him, by getting him to say that and then taking him out of context on purpose. They had staged this beforehand for him to fall into this trap.
Investors or what?
I mean, some other people in the company, I guess, but yeah, probably some people higher up, board or something like that level. But there will be a day of reckoning.
Yep.
Papa Does that John happen already? Did we miss it?
I don't know if there's been a day of reckoning. Are you familiar with this, Papa?
Supposedly it will come this year.
This year?
Yep. So says I, Papa John.
So, Papa, I hear you're an exotic fellow.
What do you mean by that?
Well, no, I'm just saying you're an exotic fellow, I hear from our friend Gregory.
I suppose you could say that, yeah.
You're a man of many tales and many locations, I hear.
A few. I've dabbled.
Okay. Tell us a bit about that.
So right now I'm living in Japan. I won't say exactly where, but part of a certain teaching program, teaching English to Japanese students.
I had a gay roommate that did that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm serious. He had autism as well. But he still does have autism and he still is gay. But no, apparently he's in Japan doing that, starting it up, learning how to do that, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you went through some sort of training program. That's probably what he's doing.
We got a 3-day orientation, but that was about it.
So you just have to know Japanese already enough to be able to teach the English, and then they just show you for 3 days what to do.
Not even that. A lot of people don't speak Japanese at all, and they come over here.
What are they coming for?
You know why they're going.
Well, they didn't they raise their age of consent though?
That's not what I meant.
I think there was one holdout prefecture that still had it as 13 for a while, but I think they raised it to 16 now. So
okay. So do you think that deters more people from coming in to teach?
I would hope so. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I didn't ask my gay roommate if that affected him at all his decision, if it made him regret it.
He was getting ready to go, and then you're like, oh, by the way, do you know that they're planning on lowering the age of consent? He's like, what? Really?
No.
Hey. I got to go to Thailand now.
Yeah. Well, they do have Bangkok.
Yep.
They do.
Is there? Well, we're already getting to a sketchy topic here, but is it 13 in Thailand or something like that?
No, I have no idea. I'm sure they don't care as much.
Have you been to Thailand?
Never.
Never. Do you plan on it?
I mean, I'm not opposed to going to Thailand.
I don't know if I mentioned this on the show before, but I was saying there's this video you can look up online. I know there's a lot of videos you can look up online about this, but pretty much I saw somebody showing this one of these it's not like a bar, it's it's not like a club either, but it's this location, this brothel almost, and there's a lady at the front that starts handing you a menu and she's like, foot job, hand job, blow job, and she's just telling you the list of things you can do. And she's naming things from the menu with the prices next to them, showing you exactly what's going on. And even the girls are there for you to pick.
Huh.
They got something like that in Japan?
I suppose. Huh?
They got something like that in Japan?
Kind of. I mean, if you walk around Tokyo or any big city, sometimes they'll have like girls standing outside with the little signs, trying to get you to come into their bar, cafe, whatever. What
Is
they
it
do in there,
explicit?
I'm not sure, but I mean, a lot of times they're pretty scantily clad, or in like the maid outfits or whatever. But
And
I
that's
don't
Because,
think they're explicitly like selling that, but I'm sure to some extent it's for the lonelier variety of people.
it's interesting that
I
it's more
see.
accepted there, like, they have this whole thing about not having any crime and all that. And then like, but also on the same side of it, they just kind of say like, oh, well, come in, do it, as long as you're not as long as you're not actually cheating on somebody. Even the women don't care. They're like, oh, well, my partner's doing it, but it's not like he's going out and just doing it with somebody. He's actually paying for it.
Yeah.
I mean, why is that?
I couldn't tell you. From what I
experienced this
gather,
yourself firsthand?
no, but I have some other teachers in my area, English teachers that I've talked to that do have some coworkers with suspicious activities between each other, even though they're in relationships. Yeah. So I know it is a thing. I don't know why it's accepted as much as it is, but yeah, I don't know.
So what about the clubs? What's the club scene like there? Have you been?
getting straight to it.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
curious.
all right. I would say American clubs are definitely better. Well, it depends. So I think they're a bit more like respectful and stuff. Like I feel like you're not going to get felt up as much.
Whoa, hold on. Explain that.
So I've gone with like mixed groups of friends, like guys and dudes, guys and girls. And from what the girls have told me, Japanese guys seem to be more respectful from the clubs that we've been to, as opposed to like American clubs. So.
I thought you were getting felt up. I thought that's what you were saying there.
No,
that's kind of what it seemed like.
Yeah, like the women are trying to feel you up to get with you, like, because they can tell you're American. Is what I thought you meant.
Will that be a negative at that point, though?
Well, it depends on what their motive is. I mean, are they trying to steal your wallet? Or are they not? Because that happens in certain places. They start doing that and they're trying to take your wallet. Before you know it, it's gone.
I feel like that's not a thing that would cross their mind in that country, though.
Yeah,
it's
no, they don't
Thailand
steal
thing, I think.
Like at all.
Pretty sure it's more of a Thailand thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna like drop any indicator, but our mutual confidant, I don't know if you've been like keeping up with like the stuff he's posting on social media. He's over in that region right now. Not Thailand, but like I think it's like Cambodia, something like that.
You talking about the guy that got kicked out of Japan?
Wait, what? What?
You're not talking about the guy that got kicked out of Japan?
No, I'm talking about a guy that me and Papa know from
yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Cambodia or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's like close to Thailand, but not Thailand and not Vietnam. So probably one of those.
I've never been.
But yeah. He's living it up over there. I guess.
What's he doing?
I don't know. It looks like he's in like a more rural area. I don't know if he chose that or if it's like he kind of just got put wherever or whatever.
I think he's with like the Peace Corps or something.
What is that exactly? Because that sounds like military, no?
No, I think you sign up and they send you to like some random village in the middle of nowhere and you help the community doing projects or teaching English or something like that.
Oh, I'll teach him all right.
Yeah. There was actually nothing really sus in the way you said that, but the context of the tone in which you said it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't sit well.
Well, they are village people, so.
YMCA?
Interesting. You think I could teach him that?
No, I mean, I thought you were talking about the village people.
No, we're talking about the poors.
The village
We're
people.
talking about the people from the landfills.
Do they have landfills over there?
Do they? I thought, well, if anything, if they don't, why don't we just move them all there?
I think the whole country is a landfill technically.
Well, that's why I said that, right? But I'm saying if they don't have landfills, then wouldn't it just make sense to move them all there? It's not like they're really missing anything right now, or it wouldn't be like they're really missing anything if we put them there. What are they really using all that for?
I mean, if anything, we'd be gifting them with landfills that they didn't have beforehand.
We could give them about a quarter per acre of trash to store it for us.
If you think about it, there's like a lot of food left over in trash a lot of times. So would we be helping?
That's true.
All the used stuff that they could probably scavenge, from there. And I don't know, maybe they could like start selling it on eBay.
Half-eaten Whopper, $5.
$5.
I don't know how you gents feel, but whenever I go somewhere to eat, like at all, even if it's something I don't like, I usually clean my plate. Like, I don't really leave anything.
But if you don't like it, why would you do that?
Because I paid for it.
But so what? You don't have to suffer for what you paid for, do you?
Actually, now that I think about it, I think there was an occasion where we went out somewhere and I got something I didn't like and I didn't finish it because the benefit of me getting what I paid for was not worth the pain of eating it. I don't remember what it was, though. I
don't know, Johnny, if you tried a steak tartare, Papa, but I got some one time and I didn't finish it. I was like, I can't eat this. And so I just didn't eat it.
I can't say I've ever had steak tartare. What is it?
I mean, it's like raw beef with an egg on top of it, or egg yolk.
Okay.
They got some like spices and all that in there. I could probably eat it better now, but I still don't think it would be as appetizing to me as just somewhat cooked beef, like a medium rare burger.
And a side of egg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like that just sounds better to me.
Yeah.
It does.
Even though it's not really bad for you, it's not going to hurt you to eat it because you can eat beef like that and be like perfectly healthy. Like it's not a problem. It's just I didn't grow used to it.
Yeah, I mean over here they do a lot of the raw egg stuff, like over a bowl of rice, maybe some.
But I do that. I actually do that. I've like heated up rice and I'll just put an egg in and stir it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like cooks it up like a little bit, like but even if it's like still like kind of wet, like that's good.
Do you mean just the yolk or like the whole egg?
You could do the whole egg. I mean, the yolk is obviously like preferable just for like, vitamin content and all that. And even in the taste, I think would be just better because the yolk just has so much more going for it. But you could do the whole egg.
See, my issue isn't. Yeah, wait. Are you saying do the Japanese do that, Papa?
Well, I remember my gay roommate
the raw
did
egg
it.
over rice.
Yeah, like the whole egg, like white and yolk.
Yeah. They just crack like
my gay roommate did it. I was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
That's what I would think.
He's like stirring it in. He's like, "Well, the rice cooks the egg just enough." He always had a fruity way of saying it too.
I mean, he is fruity, no?
Yeah, but still, like it was just unbecoming.
Can we say that? Does that count as like a thing?
What do you mean? Like fruit juice?
Yeah, you meant like he had like the way he said it, it made you think of fruit juice.
Made me think of fruits. I mean, what else am I saying? Made me think of like a fruity, not even like real fruits. It made me think of like Jolly Ranchers or like Fruit Loops.
Ah, like manufactured fruit flavor.
Yeah, like fruit, FROOT. In quotes.
Yeah, that's a good kind of fruit. The red Jolly Rancher.
Is that the best one?
The green.
No, the best one's the blue one.
The blue one. Yeah, actually, I'm inclined to agree.
Green
is a good second.
Was the red the watermelon?
No, there's like a red and like a pink, but it kind of looked like red anyway. The pink was a watermelon.
I've always hated the flavor where it's like, it's not the cherry one. Usually I hate the like raspberry one. They'll make it look like the cherry with whatever candy we're talking about here. If it's like a hard candy and it's like red, they may just make a flavor where they're like two reds. One's cherry, one's raspberry. I don't want the fucking raspberry.
The blue one's nasty. Raspberry.
Huh?
Blue's raspberry.
No, I'm not talking about blue raspberry. I'm not talking about Jolly Ranchers. I'm just saying in general with hard candy, like usually companies will put like 2 different red flavors and it's like one's raspberry, one's cherry, and the raspberry tastes like ass, you know?
Yeah, but blue raspberry tastes great.
Well, I'm not saying anything about blue raspberry.
But you're saying it's raspberry. So if it's raspberry, is it not just the same flavor but blue?
No. Blue raspberry is not raspberry. They're 2 different things. I don't even know where they came up with blue raspberry.
What does the blue add to the flavor?
It adds blue.
Understand. Blue?
It adds blue. Blue dye. For some reason changes the flavor. I don't know.
Huh.
So you're saying 2 candies labeled, one is red and labeled raspberry, and one is blue and labeled blue raspberry. They're different flavors.
Yes, I am saying that.
This is new to me.
I don't know. Have you tried a blue Long Island? It's different than a Long Island. I mean, yeah, they use the same liquors, but I'm pretty sure it's because of the carousel. I don't know.
Yeah, you are well aware of my thoughts on Long Island's.
Well, what's so wrong about them?
They taste like shit.
No, that they make a glass of liquor taste like a good, tea or something like that.
I'm telling you, bro. When I had like 4 of them, hold on, let me rephrase that.
Well, that was your fault.
When I had a good amount of them at Red Robin's, they tasted great. But then when I went to the bar you took me to, that place, it was like hard.
I don't think you got the top shelf. That was the problem. The top shelf ones are good.
How am I supposed to know to ask for the top shelf?
They usually ask. They're like, do you want top shelf or no?
That was the one time we had that one girl, I think. You remember, like, we went to that one place with like the group meeting, and then afterward we went to that bar, and then we had like the one waitress.
The after party with some of the boys.
I guess you could call it.
Or we went in that lounge area of the pub. It was like hidden, like we had never seen it. We're like, what the fuck is this? And we just find like these like couches in the back of like a like a pub area. It's like behind the restaurant area too. Because like think like this is weird. There's like a like club kind of area, like outdoor patio thing where they're like doing live music or karaoke or whatever it is. Then they have like a pub section where it's like everybody sits down or plays pool in one room, and then you just drink at the bar. Then they have like this little restaurant area right next to that where it's like everybody sitting down. Usually I don't see people there. And then you go further back and there's like this lounge. It's weird.
Yeah, you're right. It is very oddly placed.
Now, story about that real quick. I think this was the same night. There was a bartender there that came in. I think this might be the girl you're talking about. She comes in, she starts talking about like Yingling and all that. And she's like, it's a lager.
Yeah, this is the one.
It's a lager. What? It's a lager. She's trying to say it's a lager. She just says that. I must have been at like her first week or something. I think she was new there.
I mean, the times we went afterward, I did not see her there.
I had seen her like a couple times probably.
Prior or after?
I might have seen her like once prior and maybe once after. I think. I don't know. Anyway, I would. That's just for the record.
Likewise.
Yeah,
would
exactly.
you, John?
Like, who cares about the lager thing? I don't care if a bitch is stupid. I don't know. Fuck it. Why does that matter? I mean, what are your thoughts, John?
Would you?
On lager?
No.
Well,
would you?
No, wait.
Like, does it matter if the girl's intelligent or not?
I mean, I'm a taken man at the moment.
Huh?
I said, I'm a taken man.
We're asking for an opinion about, personal
hypothetical.
Hypothetically, it's not even about like, are you interested in this bar woman? No, we're asking, does intelligence matter for like a kind of situation, and any situation really, I'm just
for
saying.
Like a long-term thing, or like just a one.
Either or, answer both.
I mean, for a one-time thing, I suppose it doesn't really matter that much. But for a long-term thing, I mean, she's got to know at least how to cook and clean and do those things. And I mean,
okay, that's fair. You don't want her like retarded. Well, I don't know if I can say that, but you don't want her like that.
Gonna have to edit that out.
Well, come on,
maybe not.
You just
like 20 minutes.
If you have to edit it, like make it so it's like, something like that. Something like Ed.
Like some vocal. Shit, what do you call those?
You don't want her to be
vocal chops.
Just chop it a little bit so you can like tell what the word is still, if you're gonna do it. Because we need people to understand what I'm saying.
Songs that are censored. Do like the little disc scratch.
Yeah, like she's like but like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know, I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I know a guy who he's spent some time in Japan, not the gay one, but you know, this is a guy who's in the in the United States military. Okay, you know, this is
Oh,
just I'm
Okay, one
uh,
of those.
22nd guy, right?
yeah, yeah. But point being, he's talked about Japan a little bit, and he talks about like how because I've asked him like what the chicks are like there. I think he also spent some time in Korea. I was asking him some differences and stuff. You know, he was saying they like Western guys a lot. You know, this is apparently something because I guess the Asian men are more reserved. They're not as interesting to them or something. I don't know what it is exactly. Maybe you could answer this, John. But then I was all like, you know, do they like black guys? You know, because I thought, you know, they're all racist over there. And then he just looks at me. He's like, no, you know, or like, no, he said, yeah, actually, sorry. That was he's like, yeah. Yeah, it would have been funnier if he had said no, it would have been better. But, you know, unfortunately he did say, yeah. And then he was like, he's like, they're not racist. That's just the older folks. So I don't know. Apparently these new age women actually do like black men that are from America. Apparently they're okay with this. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, John?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that some too. There definitely are a lot of Japanese women that will only go for Japanese guys, from what I've seen. But then there's also a lot that are more like like foreigner chasers kind of thing. Maybe they speak really good English. They want to get better at English, or they're just interested in like Western culture or whatever. And typically they do go for like the tall, white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes. That's like their bread and butter, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
Oh,
That's better than the alternative. Anyway, but you know, I was just I was thinking like I was confused when he said they actually do want those kind of guys, you know, the other kind, the other variation,
yeah, I
the
mean,
other
like,
flavor. And you know, I don't know. I mean, but I am wondering here with the Western chasers, as you put it, they just want to learn more about the culture. That's their only motive. Like, do they have something else? They're trying to get like some sort of citizenship or something. What's going on here?
no,
my
I don't
thought.
think it's necessarily that. Because I mean, the Japanese citizenship is like the strongest in the world. You know, I don't think they necessarily want to leave Japan. Well, some do, I suppose, but yeah,
How
I
is
don't know.
Japanese citizenship the strongest in the world?
I
Because
think
it's
they
hard as
have,
fuck to get in.
yeah, they have the least amount of like restrictions. Like they don't need visas to get in to like the most countries or whatever.
Oh yeah, that
I think
too.
that's how they rank it.
But are they like easiest to get citizenship for another country if they apply?
Uh, I'm not sure about that. I think it is based on like if they need to apply for a visa to get into a certain number of countries or whatever.
I was in Athens and I came across a Japanese run restaurant. And I've like seen in like media and stuff like that. Like everywhere you go, like in like a Western context, obviously, you're not gonna find them in like Zimbabwe or anything like that. But I don't know, maybe even in there. Like you always find like Japanese nationals in places that you wouldn't expect them to be in. So maybe it is a case of their citizenship and their connotation with that culture is so good that everybody just kind of like, yeah, I don't really care. Come in if you want, become a citizen. It's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're generally regarded as like the most unproblematic culture, I'd say,
Whoa,
in the world. One of them, at
what's
least.
going on there? What's with that?
I
Why
mean,
is that?
low crime rates.
Why is that?
It's the culture, man. It's like the
Why is that?
Confucian values and all that shit. Very community based, I'd say, as opposed to like individual based societies.
So you think an individual based society is like less agreeable?
I mean, wouldn't they
Yeah,
have to
I
be?
suppose so. I
Well, I'm
mean,
just asking if that's his rationale behind it.
you look at like America, very much a individualist society, and you look at the amount of bikes stolen per capita.
Well, can we see a map of where it's happening? Can we get a map of the locations where that's most dense?
Yeah.
I'd like to see the distribution of that across the country because I'm sure it's not completely equal from top to bottom, you know, every area. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some more areas where it's going to happen more. I mean, you know, there's just going to be
like Martha's Vineyard, you know, upscale Manhattan.
Those are going to be less, no?
You would
I
think.
mean, I'm just taking a guess here. Shot in the
Yeah,
dark.
I think these are pretty good assumptions. Yeah.
Well, that's just because they're buying security. They're not having a lot of muggings in there.
Yeah. Did you see the stuff like the Texas is sending all the migrants to Martha's Vineyard and all that shit?
Well, that was a while back. I had seen recently that I don't know, it was something with like the feds are like not wanting to enforce things, but Texas apparently does, and now Texas is trying to enforce the border stuff.
I saw somebody post a tweet where like the Texas, I don't really know what like division they are exactly, but some form of like state organization took over the border patrol from the federal border patrol because they kind of got fed up with the Fed just not doing anything.
Why don't we just let them in and have them do all the minimum wage jobs? I mean, do we really want to do those? I don't.
I do not.
Exactly. We can just get them. We can have this be a subsidy, a human subsidy, where it's kind of like they're doing the work. We can just kind of sit back and say, well, it's productive enough. We can just kind of do nothing.
It's like that Paul McCartney song. Let them in.
I've not heard it.
You've not heard Let Them In?
I haven't heard Let Them In. Is that what it's about, though?
I highly doubt it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was a political statement, So these,
yeah,
I mean, he is British, but
little known fact: Paul McCartney has a really, he's really invested in Texas border issues, and that's why he wrote that song.
I've been seeing the British apparently caring a lot more about this whole immigration stuff. Not in the U.S., but of course in like the U.K. Like they're caring a lot more about this. I saw this meme where it's kind of like this guy with some cookies. He has some other baked goods on top, and he's like, "Get these brownies out of here." And it's like a meme about Ireland right now.
Oh yeah, so the Ireland thing. Well, I'm
saying the UK overall is happening with it. I'm saying like Ireland is one thing, but there's also like British people caring about this issue now more that I at least see.
Yeah, so the British thing's kind of been boiling over for a while, but with Ireland, for a while now, they at least from my perspective, they seem to like not care at all, really, either way. And then what happened was
Conor McGregor was like fed up with it, and apparently there was a lot of other people following him.
I thought he was okay. I don't really know. Scottish, Irish are literally the same thing. You can quote me on that. That's a fact. Anyway,
yeah.
So what happened was recently last year, there's some incident with like a underage girl getting, I don't know what it was, like attacked or in some way by a migrant. I don't remember where he was from. And apparently the police or the government or whatever just didn't do anything about it. And then the Irish got like super pissed. So that's kind of what sparked that.
But what about the British? Why are they caring about this so much now?
Because the curry eaters are, let's say, how do I put this in a good way? The curry people are, no, there are two different kinds of curry people. One curry people they don't really care about. The other curry people they have a very not great relationship with. And the story is, I'm not going to get involved in this, but the story is, from what I've heard, some people believe that the other curry eaters, not the main curry eaters, but like the other curry eaters that people don't really think about, are doing things with people that are not quite at the age to decide what they want to do action-wise.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically which curry eaters we're talking about here. We're one or the other, but I
not
do know,
Jamaicans.
Oh, well, the Arabs were some that they were getting mad about. Well, I guess more so Muslims
really?
Specifically, not liking that there were so many.
Not the Arabs, because, well, that's more of a French thing.
Are we talking about like the Pakistani curry?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Okay,
those are the curry eaters. Yeah, they don't like the Pakistanis. They're fine with Indians, I think, like for the most part.
I mean, isn't
there a problem right now or something?
Well,
actually, no, they're not. They're not. They're fine with them, right? Because they colonized them. It's fine.
Okay, you guys are both talking. Yeah, the mayor of London is either Indian or Pakistani, one of the two. And he kind of like he's like pro-immigration and all that. So, Like, I mean, as it is in like pretty much any kind of city like that, you have like a lot of people. Some people have certain values, other people have different values. But like when you have big cities like that, they tend to point towards like a left-leaning position on that kind of stuff. So, you know, there's always going to be some controversy of, oh, this is London, this is for the British. But at the same time, it's a big city. So, I mean, pretty much every big city in the West, I'm pretty sure, has that kind of thing where, you know, it's like one political side pretty much.
All right. How about you guys try this on for size? Would you rather be fat or gay?
I love that transition.
But you have to be like a fat fuck. I mean, like this is not, we're not talking, but you're permanently fat. Like you cannot lose weight.
You can't like
you are
lose
stuck fat. You are
like
stuck fat.
No,
you cannot work it off. You're stuck that way.
Wow. So we're talking like my 600-pound life type fat?
Well, no, you can still move around. Like you're still
like
mobile.
Not morbidly obese.
No, well, you're obese, but not morbidly obese. Like it is not, it's still kind of disfiguring. Like people look at you and say, damn, that guy's a fat fuck, but it's not like you can't walk. Like you can walk. You have mobility.
You can waddle.
Right? You don't lose a lot of mobility. You're not waddling. You're a little fat walking, but it just means you're slowing down a little bit. It's not really, it's not anything crazy. You just have like, think about the you know that like weeaboo guy meme where it's like he has like the fedora and all that, like the ponytail.
Yeah,
I think somewhere closer to that, somewhere around there, something like that.
Now,
or gay.
If I'm gay, do I have to act on it?
Well, my question on that, because I saw this question from somebody else, and I was asking like, how gay are we talking here? You know, like because like, are you the one getting it or are you doing it? Because those are two different things. First of all, because the getting it will affect you more negatively in life if you do that.
That's
like health wise, at least.
Yeah.
And you are more gay for doing it. I would say.
I would agree.
Exactly. So we're talking about the levels here of it. And then like the men you're doing, do they have to be like big and hairy, or are we talking about like those twink boys? Right? It's a good question, because if you're doing like big sweaty dudes, that's more gay.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I guess it is.
You have to be lusting after men to be doing that. I mean, that is just like either one. Yes, you are, but it's like you have to specifically want a masculine guy. That is just so gay, you know?
So we can't just become like a priest or something.
No, you know, you're going to be attracted to it as much as you are right now, like women, right? It's going to like,
oh no,
you're going to have those inclinations. You don't have to act on it just in the way that you don't have to have sex with a woman, but like you want to, you know?
Can I like voluntarily eat a diet or live a lifestyle that negatively impacts my testosterone so that I don't have the drive to do it?
I mean, you could probably tank your sex drive. Maybe, I don't know. You know,
I'm just asking because, like you said,
gay, you know?
No, because you said like we can't lose the weight as a fat guy. Can I like basically like neuter myself?
Neuter yourself
as a gay guy.
That's a good question. I feel like I should say no, because then it kind of negates it, just like the fat thing. You like, you know, it's kind of like the losing the weight.
Yeah. All right.
Can we gain weight?
What?
Can we gain weight?
Oh yeah, you can gain weight, but you can lose weight, but you can only get to your original state. You can put on weight and then lose weight again, but you can only get back to where you were when you became the fat fuck.
I kind of like seeing my toes, to be honest.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's like, well, you know, I didn't really answer the how gay thing. You know, I don't know if there is an answer in this question, you know, because I mean, maybe it's kind of synonymous to like the how fat. And so I guess there is kind of like a level. So maybe we could just say you're not doing like the big sweaty dudes, like the fucking big 6 foot muscular, like pecs coming out of his body kind of guy. You don't have to do that.
Controversial question. Can I become ungay?
Well, you know, the thing is, that's like becoming unfat, you know?
Yeah.
That's like losing weight.
I figured.
No,
I mean, like in real life, can you? Yeah. But, you know, in this hypothetical, no.
So being a priest is out, becoming ungay is out, self-neutering is out.
You could become like an astronaut.
You have to be like,
all you can do is just try your best to be celibate. As much as you try right now.
Well,
as much as Christian males who don't or who abstain do now, let's say.
could just get like a long distance boyfriend or something.
Let's pretend like you're Muslim and like but you are gay, right? Like it's
Oh my
God. Like in that situation.
I'd love to meet you. No, let's just keep it long distance.
I think that would work.
You can just keep it to yourself, use the internet, you know, to as your outlet, and that's it. You don't have to ever be with a guy.
How many pounds are we talking?
Well, you know, that kind of depends because the fat to muscle ratio, you know, I don't know what exactly we're talking about here. You know, BMI is not really a good way of tracking it. Same way with like weight. But we could talk about like body fat maybe. I don't know how much body fat would necessarily. Let me look up like a body fat chart.
If it's like less than 50%, then that well, actually no. Let me look that up actually.
I think 50% is gonna be obese as hell. Okay. I found what is this? This is like men and women's. This is weird. Should I pull up the image?
Sure.
All right, hold on. All right, so I am sharing this image. Just need to pull it up. Okay. So this is our 8% is like ripped dude. You know, hold on. Let me just zoom in on the men.
Oh wow, yeah, 50%. You're dead.
Yeah, no, you got too much. I could settle. Well, it's got to be a little more than 35, but it's definitely not less than 35. I'd say 35, maybe all right, maybe a little bit over, maybe like 40, 45, something like that, maybe 40.
I
We don't really have a 40 here. We only have women's 45. You know, which doesn't look good at all.
Ooh.
But I've seen a lot of women that look like this. These days,
I've seen a lot of women that look worse than that.
Exactly. There's too many these days. What's with that?
Walking to any Walmart. I mean,
you know what?
Are there a lot of big Japanese women these days or no?
Very rarely do I see a big Japanese woman.
Why could we not just have that here? If only, you know.
Just got to start eating more rice and raw eggs, I guess. I don't know.
Well, do they have a lot of fried foods in Japan?
They do, which is weird. So, I mean, they seem pretty popular too. Like people.
They're not frying in butter either.
And the older women aren't fat either.
No.
Interesting.
Crazy.
Yo, dude, the
really
older
short.
people look like you can like blow on them and they'll fall apart.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because they're walking around a lot more.
Yeah, I'd assume that's got to be part of it.
Probably
and they
just not being sedentary.
See, but you have fat people in New York. In New York, like a lot of people don't have a car for like a lot of reasons, and I mean they still have public transport, but most people would still be walking. Is a thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
But when I think of New York people, though, I have less of a fat connotation with them as opposed to like the South, you know.
That's true, but they do exist. Like they're not like ridiculously obese, but you'll still see people that are like, okay, you could lose some weight. Type
I mean,
fat.
on God, they're usually black.
I was thinking of an Italian guy, to be honest.
That too. That's also true.
Yeah, they got the big pot bellies.
Or the Arab falafel salespeople.
Well, those guys are a little bit big, but they're not as big as like the Italians or the blacks.
In the South or in New York?
No, in New York.
I don't know. I think I saw more fat Arab guys there.
Really? As fat or fatter? Because I'm thinking about like obese, like big, like not just the belly, like big.
Here's the thing: obese is really not as big as most people think about it,
it's a low threshold.
you know, media kind of like makes it to be like this real sensationalized thing, like, oh, he's like a bowling ball. But it's people that are like obese are probably people you'll see like in your everyday life if you live in like a Western country.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, like it used to be that those people that we would look at now that most people wouldn't even think of as obese these days. Back in the day, they would have been considered obese. It's like, damn, that man's fat as fuck. You know, like if he was just walking on the street in like the 50s or something, people would think that guy's fat. Have you seen like pictures where it's like world's fattest guy or something like that, or like record breaking fat guy, or like circus level like fat guy, like where they have like the kind of like freak show stuff where it's like this guy is big as hell and he just looks like skinnier than the people you see on those mopeds at Walmart.
He just got a dad bod.
Yeah, he's just got a dad bod for these days. It's crazy. I mean, like I've seen stuff where, I mean, yeah, there was like sort of this big thing about like making models eat like nothing. And so they really like wanted like extremely skinny women. But like even then they were like, you know, the plus size models like were not anything like what you would think of as like plus size model today.
What even is the appeal behind that, by the way? Like those models that look like survivors of a certain thing.
Oh, so you're talking
Like,
about the skinny ones.
yeah, like you don't, first of all,
Because
you
gay
don't have
men are
to
in the
eat
industry.
nothing to maintain. I mean, oh, so you're saying to get rid of the fat so that they look less feminine?
Yeah, I'm thinking they just want like twinks. I'm thinking there are gay men in the industry that are thinking twinks are what is beautiful. So they're like, yeah, lose a shit ton of weight. Don't look curvaceous. Don't look like, or, you know, obviously not like, you know, we're not talking fat when we say that. I'm just saying like, you know, don't have actual feminine curves. Like the amount of fat that would be good proportionally for a woman. Like just be skinny.
Emaciation is so in.
Yeah, because it makes you look like a young boy. And that's what they like. Have you seen that John Doyle clip where it's like, you know, why are the gay men always adopting boys? Someone should look into that.
Oh, the thing you sent me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, before we get too off topic, I will answer the question. I think I'm going to fat guy.
You'd rather be like obese.
Yeah, because then I started thinking about it. I could still get with women if I was fat. It would just be way more difficult.
Yeah.
Just more personality based, I think.
Yeah.
Just got to be funny.
And I mean, in terms of like dating and stuff like that, it's way better to be a fat man than a fat woman, I think.
But in my, well, I don't know about that actually. I'll come back to that in a second. But what about lifespan? Because like if you, like I get it. Like if you're, well, you know, if you're a one of those people that likes the same sex, you know, there might be some sort of things that can get in the way of your lifespan. You know, if there's some sort of contact that that happens without a certain level of protection, right? You know, there could be some autoimmune issues, right? You know,
so
or
like
something like that. But you know, my point being is like, but if you're not the one receiving it, you know, at least, you know, if you wrap it up, you don't really have all that much to worry about when it comes to, you know, your lifespan being affected. But if you're fat, then you do, because your heart could get blocked. You could have a heart attack at like 45, 50.
Right. Then I wouldn't have to live with being fat anymore.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. You know, there's not really, well, there's not as good of an escape anymore for being gay because, you know, they have too much medicine. It's too advanced.
I was going to say, if we're fat, so you said we can't lose a pound. Does that mean we're bound to a shitty diet, or can I still be knowledgeable on diet and just not lose the pounds?
Yeah. You would eat what you want, but your body would just keep you at that level.
But what about like the other like issues?
What are we talking about here?
Yes,
like,
I think if you eat like nutritious foods, you'll be less likely to die early, is what he's saying.
Yeah,
but you
that's
still
what I'm
be
saying.
fat. Yeah.
Right.
Well, you'd still have the level of fat that is affecting your lifespan, but you wouldn't add on to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a fat guy.
Yeah, I think I could live with 40% body fat. That's not too bad.
I just think it's a nightmare, you know. But I don't want to be gay. That's also a nightmare. I don't know.
The lesser of two nightmares.
What was I gonna say earlier that I was like, I'll come back to that. It was
being a fat woman versus being
a fat
guy.
Yeah. So the thing with that is like, but if you think about it, I don't know, because in the long term, if we're talking about like getting married and stuff, maybe you're right. But like if we're talking about just like anything, like any sort of activity, you know, those women could just throw themselves on those dating apps like Tinder or Bumble or whatever. They'll get swipes, you know, they'll get more swipes than the average guy would.
There is a certain segment of the U.S. population that tends to go for bigger women. I'm just saying that right now.
Well, what kind of segment are you talking about here, huh?
I think we all know.
You know, I saw a video of this guy talking about like his weekly haircut routine, and you know, it's an African-American fellow, and he's just showing like him at the barber shop and then him going like doing his rounds to get like clothes shopping, like urban clothes shopping, right? And so somebody quote tweets it and it's like, I just know this guy has like the biggest white woman ever waiting at home for him. That was it.
Probably very happy.
Had nothing to do with it in the video. That's all. Like, but somebody quote tweeted. I loved it.
I mean, going on to that, I was gonna say, even as a fat guy though, I feel okay. I'm about to like cancel us. I would not feel like as a fat guy, I would have the same level of self-loathing that I would have as a fat woman.
Whew.
Unless you were gay, and then you would.
I did not say that.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
like
you
you're
know,
not
like
wrong.
if you pick the gay option and you gain any weight, you'd be like, shit, I need to lose weight. I need to get skinny.
Oh, I mean, I guess so. Yeah.
You would beat yourself up. You know,
Yeah. Okay. No, I
you'd
see what
make
you mean now.
yourself, you know, bulimic.
Because they're like big on the image thing. So
Yeah.
like, because like I mean like when I was a wee lad growing up in the old US of A, I think we can give that much away. There were I'd see people, you know, couples and whatnot, and you know, every now and then you'd see a couple with like a, you know, a dad or father figure, so he's a little bit bigger around the hips, or not the hips, like the waistline, I guess.
Mhm.
But like, you know, his wife is still like pretty nice looking. So I mean, there's a chance you can make it work, because like, I mean, you can still like, you know, protect your wife. You can still be like, you know, rich. And actually, there's like kind of like a stereotype. I'm not sure how valid it is, but you know, the rich guy being fat and all that kind of shit.
Mhm.
So, and I mean, on top of that, there are just gold diggers. So, I mean, you could still like get around as a fat guy. And I like, here's the thing. Even the women that say I'm proud of my body and all that, you wouldn't have to say I'm proud of my body if there wasn't an underlying implication that you're not proud of your body.
You think you think this choice, like somebody of a different race would say, like, you know, a different answer for these this would you rather, because like it's like more acceptable to be fat, like for example, like if
I
you're
think an
Italian,
Asian guy would just say he'd be gay.
if you're like Italian, it's kind of like already expected that you'll end up fat.
Oh,
So they'll just be like,
say
okay, I'll
gay.
be fat.
I mean, if you go to like sub-Saharan Africa and you ask them, would you rather be fat or gay? I think we know what they'd rather be. They're like 20 pounds, like fiending for some grain.
Think about those fat stores that they'd have. They'd live good lives like that, better than now.
Yeah.
Fat stores.
Yeah, like like in their body.
Oh, I thought you meant like a fat store.
Like the reserves. Could you even starve?
You walk into
if you were permanently fat, could you starve? Would your body keep subsisting off the fat, and the fat keeps regenerating?
I don't think you can, no.
Like you just don't starve to death ever?
I mean, that's one thing you don't have to worry about.
Your body would start to eat itself, but then you have to stay that fat. So.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, how would that work?
That's kind of dope, actually.
That is like a superpower, if anything. What does being gay do? That's not a superpower.
If I was like lost in the desert, like, okay, well, let's put this in the real context. If I was lost in one of the places that is known to have deserts, and, you know, I'm walking for days and I can't find food or water, I would have a rough time, but I wouldn't die, most likely. Not from a starvation, at least. And if I did get found by a group of desert people, the likelihood of them not liking me and refusing to help me out because I'm fat versus being gay, well, it's not exactly an equal opportunity there.
You know, we got to think about it like from a strategic point of view. You're right. So like, you know, if you're stranded in a place where you know there's not going to be food, or like if you think there's a risk of that, I mean, what would you rather have? Like if you're fat, again, your body just regenerates. But if you're gay, what do you do? Like, you know, that doesn't help you. That's like, what are you going to do? You're going to look for dick? Like there's no dick out there. What are you doing?
It's like one of those mirages that you see. It's just dicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, I mean, thinking about it now, I think the fat guy, it's really a benefit in long term.
And if you get like, you can protect your woman better, because if you get like stabbed, it's not going to go straight to the vital organs. It's just going to go in the fat.
Exactly. And here's the thing. You're so big that you don't even really have to have that much muscle to like hit someone like with a lot of force.
Yeah. You just sit on a nigga.
Madness. Yeah.
Sorry?
You just sit on a nigga.
I mean, yeah. Or could do like a belly flop or something.
Yeah.
And even if he has a knife, like you said, you're not going to be getting any organs anyway. So,
like if like a dog attacks you, you get some padding. No.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that. Like, you know, I was just seeing today somebody talking about like a pit bull. Well, actually, no, there's a video. Like it was like a pit bull attacking another dog, and the owner's like on top of the pit bull saying like, drop it, drop it, drop it. And that's all he's saying. And like, you know, it's like killing the other dog. And like, you know, it's not, you know, what are you supposed to do? Like I personally, if I saw a guy with a pit bull, like attacking a dog I have, and it's like doing that, bro, I'm curb stopping the pit bull. But you know, and if I'm fat, if anything, I could just go in there. If it bites my stomach, so what? I just start beating it up more.
Yo,
All right.
where did you
So
see
speaking
this?
of this,
On Twitter.
No.
how do we feel about eating dog meat, boys?
Yo,
I
I
feel
just
weird.
saw that the Koreans made that illegal now.
Yep, they're phasing it out by 2027, I believe.
I
So
saw
what
that
about
on
the
the news
Japanese?
casually, and I started cracking up because it's like, you know, like you hear about stereotypes and you're always like, oh, it's not true. You know, it's just like it's something that happened maybe once and some guy kind of ran with it. But I mean, when you have to have a ban on it, like,
Wait, so what about
I
the
mean, I'm just
Japanese? How does it work there?
So Japanese, no, they don't eat dog at all.
Okay.
But
no,
I
it's
actually
actually a
just
Korean
went to
thing.
Korea. I just went to Korea, and we were fiending for some dog meat, but we couldn't find any. It's like very few stores actually have it in Seoul, at least.
You were
So is there
actually
just gonna be
looking for
nowhere to
dog
get
meat?
dog meat
Yeah,
in the
bro, we
future?
were looking for dog.
Is there just gonna be nowhere to get dog meat anymore?
Yeah, I think they have to like transition to non-dog meat.
Well, I'm saying like, what countries can I get dog meat in still?
Oh, I mean,
India.
Korea.
I don't want to eat in
for a
India.
couple of
They'll probably
years.
put it in their armpits.
I'm assuming China.
Yeah, China.
Yeah,
You can
China
find
doesn't seem to
anything in
care about
China.
that.
I had a
Yeah.
friend who told me he was like, his family's from Mexico, and he told me when he went to Mexico in the summer, like when he was a kid, he remembered that there were a lot of stray dogs outside, and they would just be like walking around. You know, that's what happens in these countries. And so then he said there was a Chinese restaurant that actually opened in the area, and then when he went back, there were like no more stray dogs.
Oh no.
So all he's saying is there's some sort of correlation, you know.
You know, I don't know if we brought this up before, but I'm just saying, whenever you go to like one of those takeout Chinese places, the meat looks weird. It doesn't look like, you know, your typical chicken dish. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Why is it that what's with like the way they code it too? Like, how is that working? Is this, you know, I get that like a place like Panda Express would be all like pre-made and stuff, so it's obviously going to be different. But like, why is their coding of their meat so weird? Why is the chicken that they make so weird, like looking? Why does it taste so different?
Right?
It doesn't taste the same either. Like, I've never tasted a chicken like that. It's a distinct chicken flavor, and I don't know if I'd say chicken flavor, but it's a distinct flavor.
Like, even if I went to like a Greek place, an Indian place, a I don't know, some kind of Ethiopian cuisine, which they do have surprisingly.
They have food.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good too.
Yeah, I want to try it, but I don't know any Ethiopian restaurants around me. So
have you tried
There's a place
Ethiopian food?
where I'm at.
Have you tried Ethiopian food?
Me?
Neither have they.
Yeah.
But my point was, if you go to like an ethnic restaurant and you order like a chicken dish, you still recognize this is chicken, but you don't really have that with Chinese food.
Yeah, it tastes like a
like that kind of Chinese food. I mean, like if you go to like
meat.
Yeah, like even like Japanese like teriyaki chicken, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is chicken. But like if I go to like one of those like hole in the wall takeout Chinese restaurants, it's like, this is meat. I don't know if it's chicken though. This does not taste the same as like any other chicken I've ever had.
Interesting. I remember watching this podcast back when I was in like middle school or something. I don't remember the name of it. But there was like these people talking about like their stories, you know, just a bunch of random stories they'd have. And this one guy who was Asian, he was saying like, oh yeah, I used to know this guy who ran like one of these like Chinese restaurants. And, you know, I just remember he had a sign saying human beef. And I was like, what's that? And he asked the guy like, what's this human? He's like, oh no, it's Honan beef. He's like, it says human.
Oh no.
Human ribeye.
Yeah.
That reminds me. I had some Chinese food just yesterday, and I got beef on a stick. You guys know what that is? It's pretty self-explanatory. Just like teriyaki beef on a stick. You know, they coat it in the like sauce
Never
and
heard
like
of
dries or whatever. But for whatever reason, man, this beef, I'm assuming they like cooked it like way over the time they needed to. But this beef, bro, I had like 6 of these beef sticks. No, like 8 of them actually. And I'm eating them with like white rice. These sticks of beef are so tough. Like I was chewing them and I kept chewing and chewing and chewing. And it got to the point where I actually had to take a break from chewing in between a bite because my jaw was so tired. And I was thinking, well, on one hand, this is kind of annoying. But on the other hand, I am technically mewing now.
Yeah, John Maxing.
here's a hack. If you want to do mewing, but you don't want to, do it actively, just get some beef on a stick from a Chinese takeout place.
I used to chew gum for that, but then I realized beef is just like steak is just way better.
Does gum even do that? There's not really that much resistance in gum.
Yeah, well, it helps a little bit. Like there's still an exercise kind of there if you eat like more than one stick at a time. But beef is just a different level.
Yeah, I also didn't like the amount of sugar that would just be in my mouth constantly.
It was all right. I didn't like the mint. The mint being constantly in my mouth was the problem.
Bro, if my mouth tasted like mint constantly, I'd be in heaven.
Really?
Yeah, I like mint.
I'm not too much of a. I never liked it too much because like at first it kind of like it was like spicy to me.
Yeah. You know that feeling when you like eat a mint and then you get like some cold water and your mouth feels like it's on fire, but not at the same time?
You're saying you like this?
Yes, it was nice. It makes me think of Christmas. Because I'd always eat a candy cane, then drink water.
I don't see it. John, what's the weirdest thing you've seen?
No. Hold on. First of all, opinions on mint, and then the weirdest thing you've seen.
Opinions on mint. Mint is good. I wish they had more mint gum here. Unfortunately, they don't really do the whole gum thing here.
General Tso?
I wish. No, bro. For some reason, they don't really chew gum here, from what I've seen.
They don't have lo mein gum?
I can't find it at the store whenever I go.
Listing all Chinese food.
You don't remember from Seinfeld with the gum that tastes like Chinese food?
Oh, yeah. It's real good gum, Jerry. You like it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What was that guy's name?
Lloyd.
Not the Drake. Was it Lloyd?
Yeah, Lloyd with the Lloyd Braun,
What?
He was the one that went to the mental institute and like Jerry had the thick glasses on and he was like, Kramer was saying, don't take them off to offend Lloyd. He's like, you have to wear these glasses because I told him you wear glasses and that's why you sat in the front. Because Elaine was trying to sit with you and like, avoid Lloyd. And then he's like, he grabs the 100, gives Lloyd the 100 because he has the glasses on. And then Lloyd buys like, that many packs of the gum for him.
You're a little dropping in volume over there.
Me?
Yeah, at least from my ears.
He sounds fine to me.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Anyway.
I was thinking of the soup guy, not the soup Nazi, but the guy where he's like, Jerry, you owe me a dinner. Soup is not a dinner.
Oh,
that guy.
Yeah. What was his name? Yeah. It was like it wasn't Bastilla. It was like it wasn't Bonanza. What was it? Something like that. Banya. Banya. Right? Was it Kenneth Banya?
Yeah. I don't know if the first name, but it was
Banya. It was Kenneth, something like that.
Well, yeah.
I've never.
I imagine the gum thing is like. Sorry.
Oh, I just said I've never seen Seinfeld, so I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
You should. It's pretty good.
That's what I hear, but I don't know.
It is kind of like a lot of people don't like it because they don't really like the humor. So if you don't like the humor, then I mean,
the Jew humor.
That is how I hear it like described in like pretty much every context.
Me too.
I mean, who wrote it? Come on, let's think about this.
Well, what are you trying to say here?
Well, I'm not saying,
Are you saying Larry David is Jewish?
Anyway, John, what is the weirdest thing you've seen on an excursion?
Weirdest thing I've seen on an excursion. Fuck.
Are we talking anywhere or Japan specifically?
Well, I was thinking Japan because that's it. But if he's been on other travels, or if he's seen something really weird, that is just way worth mentioning compared to Japan. I mean, why not?
We met on one of those excursions, so.
Yeah, we did. That actually might be one of them. So we went to, I studied abroad in Spain, and that's where me and old Gregory-san met. And I was walking to class one day, and with my roommate, who was also gay.
Huh.
He was pretty gay.
Yeah, cool dude though. But
well,
So we were walking to class and we were crossing this bridge and there's cars going on the bridge. And we just noticed there's like a person like laying out in the road. And we were like, what the fuck? And there's a car stopped. And then a guy got out, started yelling at some of the pedestrians who started yelling at him. And then they were like looking at this dude who was like laying down on the ground. And we were like, did we just see a dead body? But we were like running late for class, so we couldn't stop and see what happened. So
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I wasn't walking with you guys, I don't think. But I think I remember seeing like a crowd of people just huddled on the bridge that we take.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
You know what I saw that was pretty weird? This was years ago. I remember I was going in this like woodsy area near where I live. And like I was coming back from school and there was this other kid, we were both going home, walking, and from the bus, of course. And so basically there's like this I think we were like fighting with pine cones, just as adolescents do, throwing them at each other. And so he picks up this bag and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he just throws it at me, right? It looks, I don't know what's in there. It looks like what is it? Like, like rice pudding, or it's like a little darker. It's like a porridge, looking thing. It gets on my arm and it was just like the most rancid, disgusting smell I've ever smelled in my life. It was like vomit times 10. It was like, vomit to the 10th power, right? That's how bad it was. And so the thing is, I smelled it. I could smell it without having to directly smell my arm. It was disgusting. Like, why'd you throw that at me? He's like, yeah, man, I thought it came out of your lunchbox. I'm like, what the hell? Why would that come out of my lunchbox? And he's like, I don't know. I just saw it on the ground and threw it at you. I was like, geez, this smells disgusting. I went home, I showered, and I specifically like tried washing it off my arm, and I like scrubbed for a while with like this Axe body wash I had. I tried going at it, like many scrubs later, I smelled my arm and it like still smelled exactly like it. I was like puking there. I was like, this is disgusting. I don't know where it came from, where it originated from, but I think that had to be like, the smell is ingrained in my head, and that was the worst thing I've smelled in my life.
Did you ever figure out what it was?
It might have been somebody's vomit, but I just don't know who could who could puke that. Like, I just don't know. Maybe it was the fact that somebody like vomited into a bag and left it out in the sun. Maybe that's what did it. I don't know, but I've just never smelled anything like that in my entire life.
What the fuck? Why would you leave that there?
Well, it was a sealed bag as well. What the hell?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Who did that?
Who did this?
Maybe it was a dog vomit or something. But it was big. It was a big bag, like full of it, like, packed. What was like a sandwich baggie packed with it?
Dog vomit sounds like a punk band.
Okay, well, my theory is probably it was just the vomit chill, like, heating up in the sun and then going like old and stuff, something like that. Maybe he was left there for like a week. Who knows?
You see food in there?
I don't know what it was. It was literally like a fucking, like, a porridge, man. It was a slop. That was it.
I was gonna say, you and your lads are a bit weak. When we were playing with the hold on, let me rephrase that. When we lads were out about in the great outdoors, we would throw rocks at each other. Then at cars,
like big rocks.
It depends.
Like
sometimes
a fistful?
No, what we would do usually is, and I was never any good at it because I can't throw for shit. I can kind of do it now, but even then, not really. We would get like these little, almost like those rocks you see, kind of like almost like a not ground beach sand where you can see shells and stuff like that kind of like rock.
What?
So, okay, it's like the size of like a rock that's like the size of maybe like a larger quarter. But they're like the tiny white rocks that you see like in sand and stuff like that.
Like those pebbles that you use for skipping.
For what?
For like skipping on the water.
Sort of smaller than that. But what we would do is we weren't going to throw them with the intention of, just pure force of the weight of the rock. We threw them because of how aerodynamic they were when you threw them a particular way. And when you threw them right, they felt, obviously they didn't feel like a bullet, but it was almost like getting showered of bullets whenever you were getting assaulted by one of the other lads, and we would run around the field looking for rocks and shooting these rocks metaphorically at each other. And then we got bored of that, so we started throwing them at cars.
Oh shit.
I probably would have
And then,
rather gotten hit with a rock a few times than, you know, like that vomit bag or whatever that was. The mystery bag.
No, I probably would have preferred getting hit. The rocks hurt like a bitch, though. God damn.
I mean, like,
But
I guess you're right, because like the mystery bag smell went away by the next day, but like that day, like it wasn't going away. It was stuck there.
this is like an everyday thing, though, to be fair.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like, okay, one day, would you rather get hit with rocks or the mystery bag? Right now.
Probably the rocks.
Yeah, exactly. I would not want to get hit with that bag. That smell is just so terrible. I don't know.
I don't have a very high tolerance for gross things. But so we started throwing them at cars up until somebody had the idea of throwing. So we just throw them at cars that were passing by, and somebody, I don't know how, I wasn't looking, but somebody hit a fire truck, and the fire truck, they didn't like that. So what they did is they pulled up and came into like the area we were, because we were in like an aftercare thing, and they got out of their truck, came up, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, your guys are throwing rocks at our cars or our truck." And we got like put in like I guess timeout or whatever. And then the next day when we went to like school proper, because it was connected to like the school, we got called into the principal's office and had to explain it. And surprisingly, it went pretty well. We just kind of gave the excuse that we don't have any like, you know, like balls or anything to like play with, so we started playing with rocks. And the vice principal was like, "Oh no, I get it. You guys have so much energy. Yeah, it is what it is."
That's good.
Yeah, basically.
I'm glad it's at least not an adult that would like try and tell kids like you shouldn't be doing that. Like, you know, there's so many adults these days, especially teachers, that try to tell kids you shouldn't be kids.
Yeah, I mean, the principal was like a larger woman, and she did not seem very pleased with the actions, but I feel like he kind of softened the blow for us somehow. So he was a real one.
Yeah. You know, the thing is though, the smell, right? And I think I'm tracing it back, you know, or at least so, you know, figuring out what this could have been. And I'm still leaning toward vomit because, you know, another example of me encountering a vomit like substance, and it was vomit this time, I'm sure, was Gregory, San, and I and a couple of other guys, we were going out, and you know, we were going to this one club, but except for we didn't want to pay for the entrance. It was too much that night. You know, it was
Brazilian
like
night
a special
too.
weekend. Huh?
You know, thinking back about that, Brazilian night's probably a blessing though.
Yeah, so this was Brazilians, and I have another story about Brazilians after this, but you know, this was a Brazilian event, and we go back to the car because we don't want to pay the entry fee, and I realize as I'm going back in, I'm like, something smells, man, and I look down, I'm like, damn, I really stepped in some vomit. You know, there's just vomit on the ground, and it's in the creases of my shoes now.
You just reminded me of something that happened in Korea. So like our first night there, we go to this like kind of a barbecue place, whatever. We eat the food, we walk out, and we're kind of in like this like the party district almost. So it's like a pretty busy street, like walking area. And the second we leave the restaurant and we turn left, we start walking, and this guy just immediately vomits in the middle of this like busy walkway, just in the middle of the sidewalk. And people are like looking around at him like, what the fuck? And his friend takes out his phone, drops his phone, picks it back up, and just starts recording him like his guts out.
Wait, was this the guy that vomited? Was this a guy that you guys was one of your boys, or?
No, this is just a random guy. We had just flown in. We were hungry. We ate our food. We were ready to like walk around a little bit, look at the sights, the lights, and just immediately we're met with a violently vomiting Korean guy.
So the Korean guy's friend was the one that started recording him.
Yes. He just pulled out his phone and started recording him. He didn't even try to help him.
Have you heard this story? This reminds me. Have you heard the one about the Asian guy that goes in? Like there's a line at the bathroom in some place of guys that are trying to go to the urinal, and some Asian guy comes in like holding his stomach or something like that. And he's like pleading. I forgot exactly what it was, but he was just saying like he barely spoke English, but he like essentially like had this like desperateness to him. And then he goes up to the urinal, pulls his pants down, and just like explosive diarrhea is all over it. Have you heard about this one?
No.
It was like some Reddit post.
I mean, I believe it.
I mean, yeah, I believe it.
That's as much as I remember about it. I'm pretty sure that's about how it went.
But no, yeah, like in Korea, bro, they party hard. Like the amount of times I saw like dried up spots of puke on the sidewalk, insane.
What about wet?
We got to go to
like
Korea.
active puke.
Active puke?
Like I'm talking about like, it's like it's fresh.
Fresh puke.
Oh yeah, that too. But like it'll be like during the day, and I'll just like in a random part of town, you just see like a spot on the sidewalk, and you're like, yep, that's puke.
Does it smell like, after the fact? Is it a very like smelly area?
I mean, I will say Korea is definitely a good bit smellier than Japan. They have like a random.
Talking about the vomit.
Oh yeah.
I thought that's what we were still talking about, but apparently not. It's just,
I mean,
what are they eating there?
I don't know. It like occasionally you'll be walking around and it's fine, and then you just get like a waft of sewage smell. It's really weird.
I was gonna ask, so you would say the party scene in Korea compared to Japan is much bigger?
I would say they go a lot harder, yeah. And those fuckers, oh my god, the tobacco industry in Korea is alive and fucking well, my friend. Jesus Christ, they love cigarettes. Like, there was this one street, this party street with a bunch of clubs on it. The second you turn the corner, it's just hazy, like filled with smoke. People lined up on the sidewalk, like shoulder to shoulder, smoking cigarettes. It's like so bad. Oh my god.
It's interesting though, because my friend was telling me about the military guy. He was telling me about this whole thing. I thought this was Japan that he said it was in, and I'm pretty sure because it was so long back. He was both in Japan and Korea, but I think this was Japan. I'm like pretty certain. He said he went into a like a nigga club, right? He's like, it was a nigga club, and he went in and because there was this chick that he met that was like telling him about the scene, and she was showing him something like to show him around or something like that. But apparently
Korean
she frequents that. She frequents that place. You said what?
Oh, a native or?
Yeah, like a girl from Korea.
Wait,
that
Japan or Korea?
I guess he had encountered, and she was like showing him a place. He was asking if, well, I don't know if she was showing him the place. I think he asked her when he was at another place, like, what are the good places? And I think she told him that one, and then he went there, and I don't know if he saw her or not, something like that. But point being, she has nothing.
So is she Korean or Japanese?
She's from the country that he's in, and I'm pretty sure he's in Japan right now in this story.
Okay, that's all I need.
I'm fairly certain. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like fairly certain this was a Japan story. Anyway, point being, and like based on the time he told me this, it kind of had to be because I don't think he had been to Korea at that point. I don't know. Point being, assume it's Japan. Anyway, he goes into the club, and he said it smells straight like backwoods. Like there's a bunch of black guys in there. It just smells straight like backwoods. And he's like, and they don't even sell that shit here. Like, how'd they get it in, the country in the first place? He's like, they don't even sell that shit around here. But
I don't even know what backwoods is.
Well, I mean, I don't know if there was weed, but it's, he's talking about like the papers with tobacco in them. Like,
okay.
I mean, I've heard that you can find it here. There was a whole incident with one of the English teachers here, like a couple years ago. Apparently he was like growing and selling certain plants, I'll say. And they caught him, and then they deported him.
So they really don't like that.
Yeah, no.
That's like the worst country to play around with that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
too.
I don't know. He was I don't know how to put this. He was not an American, but he hailed from a land of maple syrup and what is it called? The donut place.
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons, yeah.
Yeah.
What made it worse was he was also black, so.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? He was the first one too in that particular town, and he really represented well.
Yeah, the other thing is like Japan has something like a 96% conviction rate or whatever.
Yeah, so I don't know.
If you get charged with a crime,
yeah, It just baffles my mind why he thought that was a good idea.
Like, I
Where
mean,
can
even
we find
outside of
a?
like just like getting caught, like do that in your own area. Why would you like it? Like just a respect thing. Like you're like a visitor. You know, you're trying to like uh engage yourself within the culture in a way where you won't get like you know, weird looks and all that. And then you're just like, ah, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want type thing. Like, come on.
You got to
Yeah, I don't
find a
know.
place with a lower conviction rate.
I don't know how he couldn't go like 2, 3, however many years he wanted to stay without doing that. It just baffles my mind.
Because you can't get addicted.
Yeah,
He could have stopped whenever he wanted. He just didn't feel like it.
I suppose. I think that just makes it worse.
You ever been to South America, John?
South America? No.
Yeah.
In the Central, well, I've been to
Central.
Mexico.
Mexico. How was that?
Yeah. It's fun. A lot of
What did you
dogs,
do there?
like you said.
You said a lot of dogs?
Yeah, a lot of dogs.
Well, you
Not
must have
too
been
many
there
Chinese
before that Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, they didn't establish one in the area that I was in yet, I guess. Yeah. So my family, some of my family lives down there, so we were visiting, and apparently, like the pet dog that they had, he had like bit a kid, and so what they did, instead of like put it down or like just I don't know, punish it or whatever, they put it on the roof of like one of the buildings, and he just lived on the roof for the rest of his days.
Just like air fried that man.
Yeah, apparently that's pretty normal. Like you go to like a random village in Mexico, you'll see a bunch of dogs just on the roof.
You know, I see in my neighborhood, there's like some lady that leaves a chihuahua in her backyard on a leash all day. And like if I walk even like really far away, if it can see me at all in its sights, it just starts barking like crazy and jumping and like choking itself with the leash. I'm pretty sure she's Mexican. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Do they?
I also saw a cockfight. That was pretty cool.
You saw a croc
was it
fight?
to the death?
Cockfight.
Oh, cockfight.
Yeah. Yeah, my uncle owns like fighting chickens.
Well, we won't name where he is location wise or whether it's legal in that jurisdiction.
Oh, definitely not. But
well, we didn't have to say yes or no. We could have left it a little bit ambiguous,
I mean, I don't think they're listening. Unfortunately.
Well, you never know. Now,
Yeah,
I do have another
police.
I did have another thing I wanted to say about Brazilians. So we were talking on the show before about how they're kind of like the blacks of Latinos. I have some family. I have some family that's like Latino. I asked about this. Apparently this is true. They actually do see it this way. They do, because I was asking one of my family members and this individual was like, yeah, before I met like an actual Brazilian as a friend, like, I always thought they were just loud and, obnoxious and like they didn't want to wait in line and all that. When I worked at a place
like
where they were at, like they were touring at what?
Like Puerto Ricans.
Well, I would assume it's worse.
I don't know. Puerto Ricans are pretty bad.
Well, they are pretty bad drivers.
Yeah.
I thought,
speaking of bad drivers, that was one of my notes actually. I think the reason that we see Asian people as bad drivers, at least the older people, is because they come from places where everyone is a bad driver. Like that's how you have to be to survive. Because if you look at these busy cities, like they're like bumper to bumper in this shit, right?
But they also have a smaller field of vision.
Exactly. That doesn't help.
Yeah. That's probably why it's so cutthroat in those nations, because, everybody's like that.
So nobody can really say who had the right of way.
Yeah.
It just seems like I had the right of way.
Yeah, I suppose. There is only one way.
I had the right of way.
The right of way?
I had the wide array.
The wide array?
I had the wide array.
The white away. That's a little racist.
Sounds like he's having a stroke.
Isn't that what it sounds like when they try talking English to you over there?
A little bit, yeah.
See?
Who would say has worse English?
The Japanese, for sure.
Damn.
I went to Korea, bro. Like, literally everywhere I went, they spoke English. Like, at least a decent level of English. You come to Japan,
bro.
it's pretty bad. If you're outside of like Tokyo, and even in
let's go to
Tokyo,
Korea.
yeah,
You gotta go to
I think
Korea.
Korea is definitely a lot more Western friendly. I'd say it's
We
like
just save up
grittier
money and go to
Japan.
Korea. Come on.
Are we gonna? Is Korea like taking the place of Argentina now, or
No, well, I'm just saying like a long visit. You know,
They're pretty based, from what I can tell.
are we? So, okay, I'm just trying to figure out which one's coming first now.
like for the trip or for the staying.
Either.
No, you go to Korea for the visit and then you stay in Argentina and live there.
Oh, okay, I see. So you're saying there's not a point in visiting Argentina because that's the home base anyway.
Yeah. That's where you want to say. Well, you maybe visit it to find a home, but you know, you set up camp there. I don't want to live in Korea.
Bad idea. I mean, it sounds kind of great.
Yeah, I don't know. Just looking at
I mean, I wouldn't
all
live
day,
there
every day.
either, but I mean, it's not like, it doesn't sound like it's awful.
I mean, just making eye contact with those, you know, you know what I mean? It's just weird. It's not natural.
Would you say, so you said Koreans are like more susceptible to like Western culture. Do they like have less of a antagonism towards foreigners?
I mean,
I guess so. I was only there for a week, so
that's what my military friend told me. So
yeah, I would say so. I think in Japan for sure, they're gonna be like nice to your face all the time, but that's not necessarily how they think, you know.
I gotcha.
Oh,
I think there is much more of a like anti-immigration kind of sentiment in Japan, for sure.
Well, I'm not migrating. I'm just there to party.
Yeah, or just anti-foreigner, I suppose.
Yeah,
especially in like
I mean, what's the point in going to Japan when there's a more Western version of it?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, they don't have anime, unfortunately.
Good.
I
mean, even better.
And they got rid of dog meat. Like,
well, I
mean, it can't be that nutritious anyway.
I mean, it.
Well,
got them through,
it depends on what the dogs ate.
Wait, is that true?
I mean, wouldn't it be? I mean, that would be determining the vitamin content a little bit.
No. What he was saying, like, it got them through World War II.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it helped.
The Japanese conquerors, like, you eat dog now.
Ha
ha ha.
They
stupid Korean eat dog.
You know, I don't know. It's interesting because, like, should we eat dog meat? Like, is they're used to it because the dogs have a similar diet, is in essence, to humans compared to other animals because of their intestinal size. You know, we both have like mid-sized intestines, so they're not going to be like cows.
My intestines are not mid.
Well, they're like, you know, middle-sized, like, you know, in the middle of, you know, medium-sized, right?
Yeah, right.
And so you have like cows that or gorillas, or well, actually, should we eat gorillas? I don't know, you know, because they
fuck gorillas. I'll eat a gorilla.
Long intestines.
You know, I heard somebody rationalize it to me this way: you should only be afraid of, or the deciding on which animal you should eat, basically, is based on your appraisal or scorn of the species.
But I love cows.
No, I do too. I love them because they taste good. But I was telling a buddy of mine how I can't eat unagi-don, which is you know, eel over rice. It's a Japanese thing, and I can't eat it because it's the texture. It's like slimy and like I do not like it.
Not all the time. You just gotta have.
Is it not?
I don't think so. I mean, they put a sauce on it. If that's what you're referring to,
it's.
I don't think it has to be slimy.
Like, slimy is not maybe I have appraisal for.
Term. Well, no, I told this guy, yeah, I can't eat the eel. And he's like, what the fuck? I'll eat an eel. Fuck eels. And then he ate it.
I don't think that's the best standard, because if it just tastes like shit, it tastes like shit, man.
It doesn't taste like shit. It tastes good. It's just the texture. Texture's not great. I can't do the texture. It's almost like, well, I don't like the texture of fish in general, so I imagine it might be similar to that. But it's like it caves in when you bite it into like almost like a fibrous texture. It's weird.
So it's not like a fish ravioli.
No, I don't
That's
know.
what
I've
I
never had
pictured at
that.
first when you said slimy. I was thinking like it's like a ravioli piece with like some fish in it, you know, or like the fish is
That
the
reminds me.
pasta.
Yeah, I've never had that. I don't eat fish. But that reminds me, you were here for this, John, when we went into the Great Depression Island, um that doesn't like Pakistani people. Uh
Oh
we
yeah,
went
yeah.
into a place to have lunch. And we went to a British, this is in the British area, London actually, and we went to an Italian restaurant run by what I'm pretty sure were Slavs. But
Yeah, that was weird.
the food was pretty great. It was like probably the best Italian food I've ever had.
It makes
Maybe
sense that you'd
the
go to Britain to not
Italians are
eat
in the
British
kitchen.
food.
No, yeah, we kind of when we got there, we kind of like decided, yeah, so we're in Britain, but we're not gonna eat British food. Let's just find anything else.
There's a British restaurant near where I am. I tried it before. I'm not going back. It just was
There's
it was
a
so
I tried
bland.
fish and chips. It was all right.
To be fair, there
It
were like
feels
two
like
different
such a
British places. I
mid-meal.
did go to each one once, and the fish and chips was the better option compared to like I think I ate like some shepherd's pie or something like that. But that
Shepherd's
was
pie's
not even
kinda
that
mid.
good.
There's a place, I'm not gonna say where it is, but there's a place in my area where I'm not sure how authentic it is. I mean, I don't really imagine there's a high bar on authentic British food anyway, but it like markets itself as like a tavern, like a British tavern, and it's not like anything amazing, but it's all right. No,
I
actually,
mean,
the
it's
best
all
part
right.
about it was, so I went with some buddies, and the food was decent. It like filled me up and all that, but the waitress, my God, the waitress, she was like a 10 out of 10. And
Wait,
then
what?
like later
Was she
on,
British?
no, of course not.
I was
Come
gonna
on.
say.
So I asked her, and I thought she had like an accent too, and I completely missed the mark too. I was thinking blonde hair, blue eyes. I'm thinking like Western Slav, like Polish or something like that. I asked her after like we finished eating and all that, and she's like, "No, I'm from Colombia." And I'm like, "Listen, listen. I'm just saying there's a trend here."
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, for some reason women right around there. You know, there's something about them.
you guys hear Ecuador is like in the middle of a civil war right now?
Yeah,
No,
I
I didn't
saw
hear this.
that. All the gangs are like rising up.
Gangs, you say?
That's insane.
Uh,
Yeah, I think it is like I think they're similar to like cartels because what
Well,
happened was
I always thought cartels were Hispanic and gangs.
I mean, are they not?
Well,
I mean,
I was
cartels
just saying
just are
gangs.
like a parallel government. No,
I was just saying gangs are of a different breed.
I see.
I mean, yeah. But what happened was, from what I recall, there's not really a lot of info on it, but it seems like a gang leader escaped from prison and he's challenging the government directly. You know, it's weird too, because usually what happens is I'd assume I'm not really knowledgeable on this kind of thing. You would think, oh, he's going to go back to his his crew, and he's going to talk about business and like reassert his dominance in the underground or the black market or over other gangs. But this guy, he shot for the stars. He said, "No, I'm going to take over the government."
Should just run for president at this point.
He could have done that, but he was like, "Nah, politics aren't really working out that well. I'm just going to do it myself."
It's like
But
So
Bannon.
yeah,
how's that working?
Fine, I'll do it myself.
I mean, apparently it's working because they're in a state of emergency. So
Huh.
he's doing some damage.
Yeah, not looking too hot for Ecuador, unfortunately.
Yeah. But the moral of the story is, Italian food is better outside of America, most likely.
Yeah.
What about it?
I mean, well, it's not everything covered in tomato sauce.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of tomato sauce. I don't know why. What's with that obsession here? I thought like
It's weird too
tomato.
because what?
Big tomato.
Big,
They
big
push it on
tomato.
us.
If you look at like Italy itself, like every region in Italy has like a different type of food, but like 90% of it comes from like one region, and that's where all the tomato sauce dishes come from, like lasagna. I can't think of any other ones right now. chicken
Spaghetti.
parm.
Ravioli.
Yeah, stuff like that. It all comes from like one region, and it's not even like the region where a lot of people go to. It's not like the region of Rome or Milan or Sicily or Naples or anything like that. It's like one in the middle north.
Isn't it like
But, like,
Tuscany or some shit?
no, it's called Emilia Romagna,
Uh,
and it's got like one city that's kind of touristy, Bologna, but it's not like a big one. I mean, I guess relative to like all the cities in Italy, it's a big one, but it's not like, on people's lists a lot of the time. But yeah, but like most of that shit comes from there. But like you go to like Sicily and it's almost like identical to Greek food. So
Hmm.
and then you go to like a Milan and it's almost like French food. Where like because
I want
they
to
use a
see
lot of
which.
cream and butter.
I want to see the distribution of Italian, see where they're the fattest and the skinniest.
I'm betting the southern areas.
I mean, the ones that are like the French eaters would probably be like thinner.
Yeah. Yeah, because
The
the
French
further
cook
south you go,
better.
the more olive oil and stuff like that you use. And olive oil is fine. It's just not the best.
If you're eating a lot of it, it's going to fatten you up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's monounsaturated fat.
So monounsaturated still isn't ideal.
Yeah, it's like, the polyunsaturated obviously causes like actual damage to the fat cells. The monounsaturated just has a high amount of like oleic acid. So it's still going to cause you to like gain weight if you're eating a lot of it, even compared to saturated.
See, my conception of it was that monounsaturated fat is like not bad, but it's just not as good because it doesn't have the benefits of saturated fat.
I wouldn't call it necessarily benign. It still has, well, I mean, obviously it has more like of the linoleic acid than saturated, but
That's
yeah,
fair.
I think it's like a needless consumption of fat, if anything. Might be what contributes to it mainly, other than just what's in it. But also like the composition of it would be just an issue, like for the body, like how it deals with it.
I was gonna say also the fish because they eat a lot of fish in the South, so that you're already like taking in a lot of polyunsaturated fat.
What do you eat,
But yeah, I
John?
guess the olive
What
oil
do
adds
you
up
eat?
too.
What do you be eating in
all right,
Japan?
so here, I actually eat the same thing every single day for dinner. I'll tell you, it's what is it? Canned tomato sauce, chicken, which is like marinated in protein yogurt, some spices. What else?
You eat a can of tomato
Carrots.
sauce?
Huh?
You eat a can of tomato sauce every day?
Yeah.
What do you
Well,
mean?
not like a whole can every day. I make like a big pot of food that lasts me like 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah. But throw that in there, throw in some carrots, some eggplant,
Wait, so you're eating
peppers.
like a soup every day?
It's like almost like a curry kind of thing. And then I put it like over rice.
Curry.
Yeah.
Curry without the fecal matter.
Yeah. Put some eggs in there. It's pretty good. I've been eating it for like past 3 months or so.
What were you eating
Interesting.
before then? Because you've been there for a while.
Yeah. Kind of variations on the same thing. There's a while where I was eating like a pasta, like a chicken pasta kind of thing with like basil, tomato sauce, different vegetables.
You're not
It's pretty
eating any
good.
sushi?
You're going out of your
Yeah,
way
yeah,
not to
of
eat
course.
Japanese food.
Huh?
You're going out of your way to eat not Japanese food.
Yeah, for dinner at least. I eat cheap, high protein food pretty much.
You don't eat a lot of nigiri?
Yeah, I mean, on the weekends is usually when I go out and eat like actual restaurant food, and then I eat like the school lunches that they give us,
What do they give
and
you there?
that's usually, huh?
What do they give you for the school lunch?
It's usually like a rice, miso soup, piece of fish, and like a little salad thing. It's pretty typical, but it changes up. Sometimes they give us like curry rice or spaghetti or like
Spaghetti.
a soup.
I didn't think they ate that.
I'm gonna be
It's
honest.
not their own kind of spaghetti, like Neapolitan or some shit. It's their own
I
spin
would
on
be
spaghetti.
so
What,
upset
like
if I had that
chocolate,
for
strawberry,
lunch.
vanilla?
No. It's like I don't know exactly how they make it. I think they use ketchup in it. They
What
use
the
ketchup
fuck?
on a lot of stuff. Yeah,
Whoa.
it's really weird.
Whoa.
No,
Yeah, it's
they've got to be
blasphemous.
disabled over there.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
These people are
Yeah.
autistic. I mean, literally. No wonder my gay autistic roommate wanted to go there. He has autism. He
Yeah.
loves ketchup. You know.
I mean, yeah,
It's like, I need those ketchup noodles, bro.
that's why I eat. I make non-Japanese food at my house. But yeah, I mean, had all the sushi, all the ramen and shit. Spicy ramen's pretty good. Spicy miso, that's where it's at.
I was gonna ask you how. I mean, obviously. I mean, I
He's
guess
so
I can't really
horny.
say. Did you ever go to a Japanese restaurant when you came to visit my area? Did we do that? I don't remember if we did.
I think we went to like I think we were going to, and then it was closed, right? And then we went to like just a regular like burger place or something. Is that what
sounds right.
happened?
I think so. Yeah. We were gonna go to a ramen place, but it was like closing, and we were like, we don't want to be those people. Like as they're closing, so we went to like a chain restaurant. But I was gonna ask, how does like authentic Japanese food compare to like Western equivalents? But not like I mean, you don't really have like fast food Japanese stuff, but not like things that are obviously not Japanese, but like a more. I mean, I don't. I'm trying to think of a way to ask this question where it doesn't kind of seem redundant. Like higher end Japanese food in like the U.S., how does it compare to like actual Japanese food, like in terms of authenticity? Like, what's different? What's the same?
I mean, I really hadn't had a whole lot of Japanese food in America just because there weren't like a whole lot of Japanese restaurants around me. But I mean, I'm sure higher end Japanese places in America are probably about the same as over here, I'm guessing.
Is there an abundance of hibachi?
No, I don't.
Bruh.
What do you think? I mean, there is like
Korea.
like yakiniku, like where you cook the meat yourself,
What?
kind of thing. Yeah, you guys know about that? Like the Korean barbecue.
It's basically a Korean barbecue, but Japanese.
Yeah.
How about the ones where you eat off the women?
I cannot say I've tried that, but oh, that reminds me, bro. There's another weird thing that happened. So, like my first time,
quite the segue.
Another. So when I first came here, I was in Tokyo for like my orientation or whatever, and they let us out at nights, just to like roam around. And so I went to like this area that was supposed to be like a little sketchier, but like cool, like vibe, like bars and stuff like that, just to walk around and see like the lights and all that. And so I'm walking down, and I start to notice there's a lot of like I guess you could say like African kind of bouncers, like outside these like buildings, bars kind of area.
Like Nigerians.
What do you mean?
Yeah, there's like Senegal, Nigerians. The guy, so one of them, I made the dumbass mistake of making eye contact with one of them, and so they come up to me. I'm walking.
It's like an Enderman.
Yeah, I'm walking, and then the guy, like, I made eye contact with him. He starts walking up to me. I'm like, God fucking damn it. He starts talking to me. He was a nice guy, I guess. He just started making small talk, but I'm like, bro. I'm like, I keep walking. I'm just trying to be like, polite. Like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah. Where are you from? Da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah.
Did he sound like this? Oh, hello.
Eventually he's like, hey, you want to buy some girls here, man? Like, what are you looking for?
Oh.
And then I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just here walking. Like, he's like, are you sure, man? Like, da 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 da. And eventually like pulls out like a little card with like a scantily clad Japanese girl on it. He's like, you want to buy this one, bro? Like, we can come with me. And I was like,
he thought
no,
you card.
I assure you, I'm good. He's like, okay, bro. Like, and then he like
pulled out his Pokemon deck.
Yeah, for real. He had cards of this shit. He's like, pick which one you want.
I got a Mewtwo. I got a Charizard. Anything you want.
And so
I choose
that already
you.
put me on edge. I was already on edge from that. And I was like, fuck, bro. Like, can't make eye contact with these people. And so I keep walking. And I pass this alleyway. And I kind of like look over into the alleyway. And there's like this chubby Japanese guy, bald, smoking a cigarette. He has a mustache. He turns, looks at me. He says, you want to buy sex?
In English?
Yes, in English. Just like that. You want to buy sex?
Fuck.
I was like, no, I just kept walking. I was like, what the fuck? I need to get
Was the
out of here.
mustache? You say mustache? Was it like one of those pencil thin ones?
It was a pedophile mustache for sure.
Yeah.
Like a slight handlebar, you know.
Yeah.
He just looked very greasy,
Holy
smoking a cigarette
shit.
in an alley. Yeah.
Well, did he
not
mean
too
from a
long after
girl,
that, I
or
was
did
like,
he
all right,
like, you know? How do you know he meant from a woman?
I wasn't willing to buy it from anybody.
Well, you know, I'm
You
just
wanna
saying, how do you
buy
know? How do you
sex?
know he wasn't the one offering?
I guess that's a possibility.
Like, you didn't even think about that, I'm sure, but it's possible.
It is possible.
Holy.
You never know. Yeah,
I mean, if he had that kind of
had to
mustache, who
leave,
knows what way he swings? You know?
I suppose. He was
Are there a
smoking
lot
a
of those in
cigarette.
Japan?
Huh?
Are there a lot of those in Japan?
These kinds of like areas?
No, gays.
Oh, gays. Oh, no.
Say it like that.
There's a pride parade in a bigger city that I'm kind of close to. And me and my
Nagiri.
buddy were just hanging out because there was also like a food festival. And my buddy, he was like, I don't want to go. Like, they're having the gay parade over there. Like, I don't want to be around those people. I was like, bro, calm down.
No, that's very valid.
Yeah. I don't know. I was there for more the entertainment aspect of it. I kind of like watching, like seeing all the crazy antics they're up to.
Whoa.
Anyway, so would you say there's? Yeah, I don't know if we can skip over that, but would you say there's a big acceptance of it in Japan?
I mean, I think it's accepted generally as like a rule. Like they won't like discriminate against you, but I feel like there's definitely like an underlying tone of like you probably shouldn't do that kind of stuff.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah. But so yeah, we saw the parade people, and there was like maybe 40. No, there's more than that. But it was like a lot smaller than what a pride parade in like America would be, for sure. Like there it was supposed to be a parade. It was like 2 single file lines of people like marching down. It wasn't like the whole street was covered, you know?
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Leaving nothing up to the imagination. I was gonna say that reminds me of that one time when we were in London. I don't know if you remember this, and we were like stuck in like this we went to get Chinese food, which is really good too, by the way. Way better than any American.
Oh yeah, that what did we get? Like duck or something?
I think I got beef, and then I think we ordered like 3 things, and we kind of like picked at it or something.
Yeah.
I know we had beef. I don't know about duck. I feel like I would have remembered that. But anyway, it was like, so they closed, and we were on our way, like just looking around, and then we were gonna like eventually get back to our hotel or whatever. And I want to skip over some of it, but we leave a place.
I still think about that sometimes.
It was really funny.
It's an exotic location, huh?
It was exotic for sure. I'll let you talk as much as you want about that. You have my consent.
After we leave that exotic location, were
you going to talk about it?
Maybe on the next episode. It's quite it's a lot to unpack.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So we leave this area, and as we're walking out, this darker individual, he starts talking to us, and he was one of the guys that like was really trying to convince us to go into that place. And I don't even know how the conversation starts. I think he was like asking us like, how was it? I guess I'm just gonna say it because that sounds worse if I don't say what it is.
Because he was a darker skinned individual, a male.
I mean, should I say it, or it's up to you?
Well, I don't mind.
Be a little sus.
Do whatever.
It was a club, but it was not a club.
It wasn't a dance club.
Yeah, there we go. So we left because he was like really pushing, like, bro, don't worry about it. You just go. By the way, none of his promises were met. By the way, I'm not gonna go into
Yeah,
that, but
like
I was kind of
there were no
annoyed.
drinks. They cut off the drinks like as soon as we got in there, and so we
Yeah,
couldn't even
okay,
drink.
yeah. I'm gonna go into it now because
Okay, yeah,
he's like, bro, you go in, you just get some drinks, free drinks, all this, and we go in and like, yeah, we can give you water. That's it. I'm like, bruh.
Well, that's a free
But anyway,
drink, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess. But we're leaving the area, and the guy that was like hyping us up to go in there, he starts like talking to us, and we stand there for like a good hour and a half, I think. And he's talking to us about like British politics and stuff like that.
yeah,
And it was pretty funny actually. Like it was not what I expected, but I wasn't mad that it happened. I was more mad about the fact that we didn't get drinks. But anyway,
yeah.
so we finished talking to this guy, and we start like walking away. Like exploring the area because it's like a not a late night area, but kind of like I guess it was because like there were people around. It was like a Sunday, so it was kind of dead. But like there was like a lot of like restaurants, stores, various entertainment kind of places around there. And like as we're walking away, this big clearly African guy walks up to us. He says the same shit that you were talking about in Japan.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, you want to buy some girls?" We're like, "Aw, nah, we're good, bro." But it's funny too because you said that, and I instantly got a flashback to that because
Yeah.
the exact
Why is
same
it always
situation.
Africans? Why? I don't
I'm
understand.
not gonna make any assumptions. I'm just saying it happened twice.
They went from
Yeah.
being sold to selling. That's a real progress being made.
I mean, it is technically progress. They're going up the ladder,
Yeah.
Switching up the agenda.
but you brought up the food. This reminded me of another story that I had. So when we were in the great Spanish land, well, yeah, that's kind of unnecessary context. But I don't know if I told you this, John, but I went to Greece again, like a year or so after.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that on your social medias.
Yeah. So the first day, because we had like got delayed because of like there's like some storm or whatever that was keeping the planes from leaving. So half of like our class was over there and half of us weren't. But when we finally did get over there, we were a day late. But like once we got to Athens, we kind of had like the evening to do whatever we wanted. And I had went out. We had went to see something. We went on like some kind of tour or whatever, or whatever. Or wait, am I mixing up the days? I think I'm mixing up the days. Anyway, so we had like gone to see something, and then I was really hungry because we had a lunch that was guaranteed, but it was a really small lunch. It was like a sandwich, and that's it. Like you know those bocadillos we used to get in Spain, where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a huge chunk of bread and like 3 slices of thin salami in
Yeah.
between.
Like,
Driest fucking
ready
shit in
to
the
start
world.
the day.
But it was like that kind of. But so that was what our lunch was. But by the time we had like walked back to like the main Monastiraki is what they call it, which is like the tourist area, I was fucking hungry. So people were taking their time talking to the tour guide and the professors and all that, and I was like, shit, I know these streets. I'm gonna get a fucking euro. So I walked ahead, left the crowd, like the group I was with, which I wasn't supposed to do, but I gotta eat. So I went and got a euro, and then it was really heavy. So I crashed once I got back to my hotel. I saw a guy playing like bass there once. I think I posted that. I lost that video though. And he was an American too. It was really weird. I walked up to him and asked him stuff, and he was just talking in English, no accent. But anyway, uh, so later on, I had to eat dinner, obviously. So I got out real late. Everybody had already went out to get dinner. So like there were groups of people getting stuff, but I was just kind of on my own. So I was like, oh fuck it, I know the streets. I'll find something to eat. And I found this like an izakaya type place. I'm assuming you know what that is.
Yeah.
John. So it is izakaya for the audience. It's kind of like it's like a bar, but you have like little like appetizers that you eat along with the drinking. In it, you're not really supposed to eat like a full meal. It's kind of like you eat enough. It's almost like tapas, if you know what that is. But so there's like an izakaya place there, and I'm like, oh shit, that kind of looks good. So I'm like looking at the menu, trying to see if I want to eat there. And I'm kind of like on the fence with it. So what I do is I go over to like across the street and I look on my phone to see if I can look up the menu a little better. Because I was also trying to see if it was like the same place I went to a few years back. That was a Japanese place. But I'm looking at the menu, looking at the restaurant. It's like on a corner, and this woman, this like native like Greek woman's like walking past with like groceries, and it's kind of cool. So she's like all bundled up in like a jacket and stuff like that. So, by the way, I went there with a single hoodie, and it was like so cold that it started snowing at some point. So
Oh
I kind
shit.
of
That's
fucked
like
myself.
me. That's me in London. Whenever I had like my singular hoodie, and it was so
Yeah.
fucking cold. Those bastards. I'll never forgive the British.
For real. But
Their subway system closes on Sundays.
why? That's actually a good part of the story. But finishing this story up, so this woman's walking past me like on the road. So I'm like sitting up against the wall of the building, and she's walking past to get to wherever she's going, and I'm like making sure my feet are out of the way and everything. And as she's walking past, like right before she's about to pass me, she slips and like face plants on the ground, and I'm like, oh shit. Because she sits there for like a while, like on the ground, and I'm like, oh fuck. And I don't really know. I know a decent amount of Greek, more than the people that were there, but not enough to like ask, hey, are you all right? Do you need help or anything like that? So I'm like putting my hand out, like trying to say it in English in a way where I thought they would understand. Like when you speak slowly and expect people to understand a language they have never been exposed to anyway,
Yeah,
but they're supposed to understand it when you speak it slowly somehow. That's what I was doing. She didn't do anything. She didn't even acknowledge I was there. But she got up, grabbed her nose because she like face planted, and she was like crying the entire time. Grabbed her stuff and just walked off like bawling. And I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" But
Question. Was she
yeah,
hot?
I would. I wouldn't
you should have
after that,
rendered aid.
obviously. Huh?
You should have rendered aid.
See, the thing is, I wasn't sure if this happened genuinely. If it was like a trick or whatever, she fucking dedicated herself to the role. Because like in places like that, yeah, that's like a common thing. So I wasn't sure. I wasn't about to like, engage in any way if I didn't have to. So I ended up help. She didn't say anything, so I was like, all right, whatever. So I didn't eat there because of that. I was like, I'm getting out of this area, and I went to some other place entirely. But I told like my roommate at the time about it, and he's like, damn, bro, that's fucking hilarious. And I was like, what the fuck? Because at the time I was like, oh shit, I feel bad. But then I was also like, not bad enough where I might want to risk getting scammed. So yeah.
Probably good.
Well, once she started walking away, you should have figured it's not a scam. You should have gotten her number.
There are reasons why I didn't do that I won't say now.
She had a broken nose. Her confidence was probably down. You could have done it.
It would have been the perfect time to swoop in.
Yeah.
At this point too, I had a decent build too. So I mean, the singular hoodie was doing me favors in that regard.
Favors? Usually hoodies don't do favors.
It's like I was literally wearing a t-shirt and a hoodie, nothing else, and it was like kind of small on me. I still have it, but yeah, it wasn't that like loose fitting on me. But yeah, so I went somewhere else, and yeah, that's kind of the end of that. But I mean, yeah.
All right. So, John, tell us, what have you learned from your experiences?
Jesus.
Give us one life lesson.
You found Jesus?
No Jesus in Japan,
well,
unfortunately. Jesus is in Korea. I learned that much.
Really?
Korean Jesus.
Yeah.
He's in Korea right now as we speak.
Well, technically, he is in Japan. Have you heard of that? Like the burial site of Jesus?
Yeah. You should tell the story about that, actually.
So, apparently, there's a sect of Christianity, I guess you could call it, that believes that they took Jesus's remains and they sailed to Japan and they buried him in the northern prefecture of Aomori. And so his burial mound is still there and you can go and visit it. And I have yet to do that, unfortunately, but it's on the list.
Okay, so what's
I
your
heard a
life
different
lesson?
version of it. I heard a version where what happened was when Jesus was getting like tried, he had like a twin brother, and his brother was like, "I got you, bro," and he took Jesus's place, and then Jesus like wandered off to Japan, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'll just stay here and like get married and have kids, and then preach the word to like a small like sect here," and that's what happened.
You know,
That's
that's kind of
I
what
awesome.
the
don't know.
Muslims
That's the
believe,
better
where they
story, I think. That's like the
I think
anime
it's
ending.
that does sound like anime too. So I mean, it kind of
Yeah.
fits.
maybe
Yeah.
these Japanese people are Muslim. Because that's kind of what the Muslims believe. You know, they believe that there was a fake Jesus that got crucified.
Is that true?
Yeah, they don't believe it was actually Jesus.
That's crazy.
I thought they just didn't believe he resurrected.
Nah, they believe it was like an imposter.
Is the imposter also? Does he get like clout for doing it?
Well, he wasn't Jesus, but he was sus.
Is the real one still among us?
No, wait, maybe I don't know. He went to heaven.
No, wait. So is it like, oh, that imposter took away Jesus's real role type thing, or is it
No,
like, oh,
it's
he
like
did a
it's like
favor?
yeah. Well, it was supposed to be like, you know, they don't know what happened to the real one, and like aside from him going to heaven, it's just this fake guy was the one that happened to, and I don't really know that they explain why or who, or they don't really talk about that.
So did the fake guy like die for our sins also, or did he just
No.
die for his homie Jesus?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's like a bro code.
Yeah.
probably. I don't know.
Bro, I got you.
That's the biggest bro I got you ever.
For real. I need a bro like that.
Well, you know,
Any of you guys want to get crucified for me?
it's like cannon fodder at that point.
I don't know about that. Yeah. I got a pizza business to run one day.
That's true.
What are
The
your
day of reckoning.
aspirations, John?
You know, just have a good time in Japan. Eventually, I'll come back, take back my pizza business, and live happily ever after. I think.
All right. So, what's your life lesson?
Don't talk to Africans in foreign countries.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you could have stopped it before the foreign countries thing, but you know,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go to like Africa, I don't think you have a choice. So
you know what's weird? I always associate the Land Down Under song with Africa, even though it's about Australia. Good song though.
yeah, a lot of Australians.
They don't
here
come
in
from a land down under. Sorry?
A lot of Australians here in Japan too.
Really?
Yeah. full
Oh,
of them.
because they're pretty close.
Yeah. It's like their vacation spot, pretty much.
John, you vibe out to that one song. I forgot how it goes. It's like I'm becoming a Japanese or something like that.
Oh, the punk song?
Yeah.
That's
I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so.
Yeah.
No.
You vibe out to that, John? Is that your hit?
Yeah. Pretty good.
Number one played?
Maybe number 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Number one's Kanye.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Thoughts on Taylor Swift?
Overrated. You know, I liked her earlier stuff, but the newer stuff is kind of weird. Not as good.
You know,
in my opinion.
I saw a post from this guy where he's saying since Taylor Swift's like getting married now, this is going to be like peak season for white girls to get married. It's going to be like the peak ever of white girls getting married. After that, it only goes downhill. So if you're going to get married to a white girl, you need to get married like soon.
Like now.
She's getting married?
Apparently. I heard
that's going to last like a year.
Let me see. Let me look it up because I just read the guy talking about it when he was like quoting a news article. So I mean, they must be. Hold on, Travis Kelce. I think that's
Travis Kelce.
last name. Travis Kelce. Engaged. Let me look that up. Isn't that biased to search engaged? Let me see.
What do you mean?
Isn't it biased to look up? You know, already look up the word engaged. Like,
I think
I'm looking for my search
I don't think it's.
I need to see the news without looking it up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Because if I'm already looking up engaged, I may see some stuff that's like, you know, just telling me that to tell me maybe some news scoop or something that's like not even that legit.
Scoop.
I don't know. I don't know if I can find it. Here, I might have to look up the word engaged just to see if there's an article recently. Apparently they don't have an intention of getting engaged soon, but there were rumors about it. allegedly.
So it's you got
But
bamboozled.
but if they really do get, yeah, I guess I was bamboozled. But if they really do get engaged, that will be peak season for white girls getting married. At any point that it happens, that's the time to marry white girls. It never becomes
Do
the same again.
Latinos count as white in this context?
Latinas, wow, I'm thinking it only really counts like if they live in the States or in like the West in general. Like if they live in like Latin countries, I don't really think it like matters as much.
Does South America count as the West?
No,
I don't know.
No.
I feel
no.
like no. What does it count as?
I kind of assumed it did, but I guess you're kind of right.
Yeah, I mean at that point you're
the other thing
only
is
excluding Asia and Africa.
I don't find it likely that your average Miami woman would give two shits about Taylor Swift.
Well, I don't want the average Miami woman. Those are hoes.
They're Cuban.
Oh, yo, we got some Latin race wars over here. What's your thoughts on the Cubans, John?
I feel like they count as white in America.
Because they're conservative.
Yeah, pretty white.
They are.
Lighter
That's why they count as white.
But you go to like Nicaragua or something, not white.
Shout out to all my neat gars.
Oh boy.
I don't know if the algorithm's gonna catch.
Well, look,
that.
Theo Von said it. So
who?
Theo Von.
Who?
Comedian.
I have no idea who that is.
He has that accent.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought that would help.
He sounds like a Southern guy.
What was he trying to say?
Yeah, it was because he has like Nicaraguan family. So he's like, yeah, my dad's from Nicaragua.
No.
Huh?
I get what you mean. We're good.
You don't want me to say it again?
No, I'm good.
So what? You gonna censor the first one?
I don't know. I was gonna leave the first one, but if you say it again, I don't know.
He said it, and it was acceptable for the YouTube Shorts policy, at least to be able for me to see the video, or maybe it was Instagram. If it was Instagram, it's obviously not as strict for some reason. I don't know why. You can see a lot more on Reels than you can on Shorts or even YouTube.
Instagram's getting really lax on stuff now.
I love it. I hope they don't crack down
on Instagram. Like,
sorry, say it again.
I've seen so many people die on Instagram lately.
Yeah, it's great.
I see people dying mainly on Twitter.
Well, yeah, no, Twitter is another level. Like, you can put anything on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter is like no rules. It's like Wild West.
Yeah, as long as it's legal, pretty much you could post it.
I guess Instagram's trying to fight. You think like Zuckerberg's like, I need that kind of unbridled chaos.
Perhaps. I don't know.
Because didn't they do a thing where they were like rolling back the nudity restriction, like slightly? Yeah. Yeah,
like they allow nipple.
Yeah, where you're allowed to do what they call artistic nudity.
I thought that was Twitch. I heard because my one of my friends, he was like, yeah, on Twitch they allowed like for artistic nudity, and then like they had to shut it down because there was so much like furry stuff in the first day.
That is technically artistic nudity.
I know, but he said like they just had to shut it down because it was like straight like furry content, like sexual content.
Was, like, you could show like almost the whole boob, like the top boob.
No, well, I think that's like still within their policy. That wasn't part of what they shut down. Yeah, but there are like titty streamers that are showing like the entire cleavage minus the nipple.
That buddy that I'm in debt with because of that one club outing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy, he's the same guy that whenever he shows me anything on Instagram, he like stops what he's doing and likes the first picture.
Right.
And then goes back to showing me what he's showing. So he was the one that told me about the Instagram thing. And then like, as he told me that, he showed me a video of just a girl with like her chest out, like just all the way out.
So you mean her breasts?
Yeah.
I think that the breasts are separate from the chest. No.
Okay. You know what I meant?
Like it was full bouncing titty?
Not bouncing, but like it was nude. Like you could see everything.
Huh.
Did he like it?
I think he did. Yeah.
Did you leave a comment?
Probably put fire emojis.
Hard eyes.
Remember to like and subscribe. Leave a comment.
Damn. That's my comment.
Damn or Zam?
Yeah, Zam.
All right. You guys got anything else?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I think-
I have one last thing.
Yes, one last thing.
Yeah, one more comment from previous episodes. Which one of you said that Target was a good place for Autistic Rizz?
He did.
I'm fairly certain I did.
No, that is a quite frankly autistic take. Target is definitely not the place for Autistic Rizz.
Why not? Is that Walmart? Am I thinking of Walmart?
Maybe, no, not even Walmart, I'd say. I feel like, well, at least Target. Start with Target.
I feel like you get
That
beat
is
up
like
in
the
Walmart.
safe
Walmart.
place for women. If you start acting autistically towards a woman in Target, she will pepper spray you. Like-
in the Target.
Yes.
So you got to use that
Like-
that classy Riz.
You just don't approach women in Target. This is
Bruh,
coming
That's
from my
supposed to be
girlfriend.
prime location. Where are you supposed to
No,
do it?
bro. This is a safe place for women. They don't
Where are
want
you
to be
supposed to do it?
harassed by men. Okay,
Where?
top 3. Well, one overarching theme: conventions, bro. Anime conventions,
Oh my
That
god.
is a good point.
furry conventions.
These are the
These
worst
people,
places.
Like
These are
half
like
of them are already autistic.
No. If
No,
you're
we're not
talking about
looking for
Autistic
autistic women.
Rizz, that is the best place to do it.
no.
This is
The Riz is autistic. The women
scientifically-
aren't.
So half the people are, half the people aren't. This was the original
Yeah.
question. Remember?
No, it's
They
supposed to
can
be.
be
I'm the one with autism. It's not the woman.
I thought you didn't have to necessarily have autism. You were just using
Yeah.
autistic.
No, it's
Rizz.
me.
Wait, hold on. So he's making a good point. The convention center, yeah, you'll have a lot of autistic women, but a lot of women go just so they can cosplay.
Yeah, there's a
But-
lot
And
of
they're not
normal,
autistic.
They're all weird, bro.
normal
Like most of them.
quotation marks women there too.
Oh no, they're all weird, but they're not all autistic.
Well, I'm not even saying it's necessarily about whether she has like some Down syndrome or something. You know, I'm
No,
I'm
whoa,
thinking-
yo.
Whoa, that's a whole separate thing.
What?
Yeah. Are you trying to pick up a Down syndrome problem?
I'm saying that's the problem. Like I'm saying I'm trying to exclude those. I'm saying, you
They're-
know, like
Yo,
at these
I've
places,
never-
I'm saying they're not
Down
hold on. I'm saying they're not necessarily all like that. You know, the ones I'm trying to exclude like that necessarily because they have that level of you know, disability or whatever. But you know, I'm just saying, like the other women, the other ones, they're still weird. I don't know if they're weird to the degree that you'd find it like okay, you know, to be around her. Like maybe she's like got these like weird quirks, you know, too quirky,
maybe not for a
too
relationship.
cringe. Maybe she's a little too cringe if you're going here.
They're weird. So the autistic
No, but
Rizz works
not even just weird, cringe. Like the cringe is the problem.
The Autistic Rizz is cringe though.
But you know, it's like entertaining. It's like, you know how reels you can be cringe in for a reel, but it's still got entertainment value. Instead, it's like
Right.
authentic cringe that isn't even supposed to be like funny on an ironic level. It's just straight cringe.
But think about how a normal woman would react to that. It wouldn't work.
You can
Yeah,
make
you're
it funny.
need
getting right in the target.
You need
It ain't
some
working.
degree of weirdness with the woman for it to work.
Well, I'm saying the Autistic Rizz, you like sprinkle that in. You don't like just straight like start screaming and like kneeling
Aw.
down on the ground or something. Like you sprinkle it in with the normal stuff.
Oh, so that's already a false start. That's not real Autistic Rizz. That's like autistic
Okay.
seasoning.
That's fair. So I was more so talking about the autistic seasoning at Target.
It's like some salt-based stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now here, let me say the conventions. Now I'll let you finish, John. Like I'll let you finish with the good places, but the conventions, I don't know. It's going to smell there. There's going to be a lot of like, you know, actual autism, not even the ironic autism. And, you know, it's going to be that like half that and half whores and maybe some other stuff, maybe some good stuff. But for the most part, that's the split you're going to see. Now I'll let you finish with the good places.
This is coming from a guy that hates conventions because of the people that show up there. But when I went a few times, because my friends went pretty much, and I was like, fuck, I'm not doing anything else today, so I might as well go. But I went there a few times. The smell was not the worst. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really smell anything besides like the food that they had there, which kind of sucked, but whatever. if you stay away from like you can figure out who is and isn't okay to confront. If it's not that difficult to avoid it, in my experience, at least. Now, I don't know. Maybe in a different city, it's different. Maybe because I never went to any anime convention. I'm not that stupid. But
he literally said like furry.
I mean, they are all autistic, to be fair.
But okay, I think we're just speaking different languages here almost. You know, like I'm not trying to say like I'm saying you sprinkle on the autism to add a layer of complexity to your character. I'm not saying you're literally like screaming, find somebody that's very receptive to that. I'm saying you say something a little bit off, a little bit weird, but it's supposed to give you that sort of edge competitively. Like it's supposed to make you stand out. That's really what I'm talking about.
I'm saying like that kind of Rizz too would also work at conventions. Like,
it would.
No, but I'm saying the problem is the demographic of women there are just going to be a little strange.
These are the places where the Autistic Rizz would work the most.
They are strange. Fair statement.
Your target audience is most receptive to Autistic Rizz.
Now, what I was asking of you was the places that are good to spit game for somebody that is like a little ironically autistic, but isn't necessarily just trying to full on spit Autistic Rizz.
Are you looking for normal girls that would be receptive to Autistic Rizz, or
normal girls that would be receptive to a slight layer of irony at least?
See, but I feel like you're already starting with a girl that isn't normal.
Okay. But, you know, it would be like one that isn't like, you know, just an NPC is what I'm saying. But at the same time is not like literally like just a cringe, like quirky kind of person.
I think convention.
Furry convention.
Furry convention is the extreme.
You said furry earlier.
Listen, I understand why he said it. I would not recommend anybody go to one of those.
Yeah. Okay. No. Well, John, do you have other ideas other than conventions as to where this would work?
I kind of liked your idea about the library. Whoever said that, I think that could go either way. Yeah. So that one wasn't terrible, but I think I said the bookstore too was just the most atrocious opinion.
I said the bookstore too, but there are too many liberals there.
Yeah, I think the bookstore is a better shot, to be honest, because nobody goes to the library anymore.
Exactly. That's Autistic Rizz.
No, but that's not good. I don't want to date them. That's too autistic. That's too autistic even for me. That's
See, you're setting up you're setting up the race, but then you're kind of like moving the like finish line now.
Yeah.
But who wants a they them? What the fuck?
I mean,
I don't. A guy that spits Autistic Rizz.
I mean,
all right. We're getting a little separated from what the goal is here. Like you're too focused. I think you're being a little autistic about, you know, what kind of game you have to spit.
The whole name of the game is Autistic Rizz and where to do it.
Look, you're getting, but I'm saying you're getting too specific about the actual like functionality of what it's used for. Like you know, you're extracting the purpose and you're more so just putting it as like a standard of what you have to spit when you see a woman. Like
no, I'm saying like the places where Autistic Rizz would be most effective.
Okay. Well, okay, fine. I'll let you list the rest of it. What else? Where else would it work other than conventions? Other than conventions or libraries or bookstores? Are there other places?
I mean, that was my best bet.
Okay. Now that we've finished that, can we move on?
Hey, whoa! Hey, you said 3. I want a third.
That's a good point.
I said comic conventions, anime conventions, and furry conventions were my 3.
But that's a category.
It is kind of a category.
And same with library and bookstore. That's like a category.
Prefaced it with a big overarching category.
Anyway, I was asking you, okay, now let's talk about normal spots. More normal than those. You know, it doesn't have to be completely normal, but more normal than those. Where would you say game is good to spit?
Autistic adjacent.
Because you said no Target.
Okay.
It sounded like you didn't even want game to be spit at Target in general. Because I said classy Rizz, and you're like, no, not even Target. Target's a safe haven.
According to my girlfriend, this is from a woman, mind you.
Okay.
I think an important viewpoint to take into consideration.
That's fair.
Yeah. But another one that I thought of just now, GameStop.
Bruh. GameStop? What kind of woman goes to a GameStop these days?
Exactly.
An autistic one.
A girl that would be receptive to Autistic Rizz at the very least.
Do you have a better place? Like not for this. We're past the Autistic Rizz. I mean, I guess you did add a third one. That's fair. That's fair. But we were on another subject underneath this Rizz category. We were looking for a place where it's okay to spit some normal, maybe a little bit sprinkled with the autism, but not too much, like something like in that range.
So just regular Rizz, but like
around that, you know, a little Rizz, a little personality, like a little mix of it.
I mean, maybe like a craft beer place. These guys are a little autistic.
Craft beer?
Yeah, like a brewery.
It's not the worst idea. You're talking for like normal Rizz?
Yeah, normal Rizz with a little autism sprinkled on top. Because I mean, like,
yeah, you're getting hipsters in there, so there's going to be a little bit of autism there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a lot, but a little.
Well, I'm more so looking for like standard places. Like, okay, like, you know,
I'm like talking that's a pretty standard place. I don't know.
I've never been to one of those. I've never seen one of those in my life.
They exist.
I was thinking more like categories of like grocery store, gym, you know, other restaurants.
Why people keep saying the grocery store? Grocery store seems like an awful idea to me.
I mean, go to the grocery store. Everybody buys groceries.
Like, buy groceries, bro. They're not there.
Yeah, but like the last thing I would want is, as I'm trying to buy food for me to survive for the week, is some dude to come up to me and try and woo me. Nah.
Yeah, but we're looking for people that are not like on the party scene. You know, we're not looking for the women that are going to the clubs every night.
Well,
so
yeah,
where else would they be? Where else would they be?
I mean, easy answer is like school. Like if you're going to like university or something like that, that's like the best place, like in general, really.
That's true.
And I mean, the thing is, most universities they're public, or even if they're private, I think you can just walk on there.
Yeah, we talked about this. You would be like somebody doing like the campaign stuff or like the petition, and it's like you just kind of use that as your cover.
It's not a bad idea.
Walk up to like the LARPing club and then just be like,
LARPing club.
I'm your knight in shining armor, baby.
That is, I hate that.
Yo,
that was terrible.
You soiled it.
Yeah, it's Autistic Rizz, bro. It's terrible.
I was thinking,
soiled it.
There's like a time period. I made sure of this, and you and I, we went to the same educational institution. I don't know if it matters if we share that much, but I don't know if you've noticed, but it was from the time period of like, I want to say like 9 a.m. up until like noon, so bleeding into like 1 o'clock. That's when you had all the baddies, and after that, and before that, it was dead.
No, yeah, you're right.
So you need to go in between those time periods, and that's when you strike. And the thing is, it's like flooded, bro. I'd get out of like class and I'd see like literal like stampedes of just like girls like 8 and above. So that's what you got to do. And they're not going to be in any clubs.
I thought you were going on still. I thought you were continuing, and then you just say 8 and above and stopped.
Like, they're the kind of girls that get up, go to class, pretend to pay attention, then get upset about why they're failing the class, and then before that, they go back to their dorm and do whatever. Or
that's
go
exactly
out with
what
their
we're looking for here. That's our demographic.
We did have a Chick-fil-A on campus.
That's our target demographic.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, you know what? Chick-fil-A isn't actually a bad idea if it's near
not
like
Autistic Rizz, but like regular Rizz. Yeah, I think Chick-fil-A is a pretty solid target.
If it's like near a younger area, yes. If it's like a regular Chick-fil-A, it's just kind of like anywhere. Maybe not.
I'll tell you where it was a good place to talk to people. That you'll know specifically what I'm talking about. That place near the food court, like it's in the same building, but it's like the place where people are like kind of reading and studying and all that. But like, you know, they're not too focused. They're just kind of like in between classes.
The place that had like 4 stories.
Yeah, but I'm talking like first floor specifically, and then you can go up a little bit, but you probably don't want to go like all the way up. But I'm just saying like that area on the first floor specifically, I think that was a pretty good hub for like talking to people.
Another place, local theater.
Like a movie theater?
No, like a local like play kind of theater.
Yeah, that's what are you supposed to act?
For Autistic Rizz.
I want to be honest, bro. You're kind of losing me with that one.
I know. What the hell is this? He's lost me a while back, but like here he goes with another example like this.
Autistic Rizz would work.
I mean, I get what he's trying to do with this. Like he's talking about an extracurricular activity that would kind of like, you know, land you in that sort of position without having to do like something you don't really want to do. But then again, this is something I don't really want to do. You know, I don't want to be in the play or nothing.
like if I were
But
to
you
do that,
still
it would
want
be
to spit Autistic Rizz, or are we past Autistic Rizz? We're just
We
talking
did
about Rizz in
have
general.
the specific autistic
yeah,
Rizz.
we're
I
kind of
told
past
you,
it now.
we're
Okay, no
talking
more
methodology. We're talking like ways of like we're talking a range here. I'm talking a range, not like the types that are into fur costumes and they them and all that. I'm talking like a little weird to like pretty normal.
Childbearing hips.
Yeah, we need some childbearing hips.
Huh.
I think university kind of tops it.
I know.
University.
I agree, and I think that area that I mentioned, that kind of area is like perfect. Or being a petitioner, or something along those lines. You just get a job doing that.
It's literally your job to spit Rizz, if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. You start getting a lot of interactions with people. Eventually, you're bound. It's kind of like if you're going out, right, and you're looking. And you're going to like the grocery store, or and I know you're going to say, oh, you brought this up a lot, but I'm just saying, like, let's say you just make semi-frequent trips there to do that. You buy your stuff, but you also do that. Like you look around a little bit, wouldn't it be sort of like putting more money into the pot almost, or like, a better investment of your time to almost just be doing that? Like the petition thing, like you'd have to go to different campuses. You need a variation of a selection, but I'm just saying you have very like specific means of achieving what you want to achieve without having to look out of place, without having to look, have no reason to talk to somebody, etc. Like, you
have an easy escape plan.
Spot. Yeah. You're in the prime spot to do it.
It works.
How about like a waiter at like a Olive Garden or some shit?
That's very unprofessional.
I see where you're going with that.
You can usually catch the vibes. Like if you're just like a nice dude, like, and they dig your vibe, sometimes they will like leave their number on the receipt,
So it's like it from experience.
Huh?
Are you speaking from experience?
No, but I've seen it happen like with other people.
He might be onto something here.
Usually you do have to be like a little bit more attractive. But I think if your personality comes off in a good way.
So doing it on the job is a bit of a risk in that kind of scenario, but you're usually not, unless you're an idiot, it's kind of easy to tell which ones, like he said, catching the vibe, you can kind of tell.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that could work.
There you can like lean more into it or not, And then it comes to you, like they leave their number on the receipt or whatever kind of thing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're doing your job again. So you're not really doing anything
making
special.
Money. So
right. Yeah. So okay. It has to be somewhere that they can leave the number though.
We are missing out on a very obvious example, an example that we've experienced ourselves. Bartender.
I said that like 5 seconds, or not 5 seconds, but like a minute or two ago.
You did?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was audible, but yeah, I did say bartender.
I mean, we know a guy that is a bartender, and I'm pretty sure that has had some impact on his ability to pull women, which is quite impressive if I do say so myself.
But he's like, he's not in anything like long term. He's just doing like a lot of short term stuff.
Yeah. I feel like along that same kind of mindset, like drug dealer, even.
Bruh.
like,
yo,
they have to come for drugs. If they want some free drugs, you know what they have to do. I'm not saying maybe they're a little weird, but usually they're pretty normal if they just want like weed or something.
Yeah, we can get dinner. I just need my fix.
I don't like chicks that smoke weed.
But for some of the listeners that might, just putting options.
I'm just saying, you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
That's some Miami Rizz.
I get raped by a Japanese man.
Oh yeah, actually, you just start coming up to people saying you want some. Like they do that.
Hey, mommy.
They literally just start walking up to people like, "Hey, you want some cocaine?" They don't even say it quiet. They don't even say it quiet. They just start walking up to you saying, "Hey, man, what's up? Good man. You want some cocaine?"
It does work. It seems like, yeah.
You do that to a group of college girls, you're getting at least like one or two that say yes.
Yo, I'm not gonna mention who. No. Okay, so I can actually bring this up because another person said it too. But controversial figure that we both follow said something along that line. But also another podcast I saw, they were talking about this. They said basically along the lines of, if you have cocaine and you have a group of white girls, you're in.
You give those white girls some white girl.
Yeah, and then it's like over. Deal sealed. That's it.
Yeah. Well, you got to get that stuff without fent.
Yeah, you got to test it.
What?
What do you mean, what?
What do you mean? Oh, okay, fentanyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, when I ask my plug why there's fentanyl in my drugs, maybe that's something you should ask China. That's a question for China.
Have you seen the... No, I think that was in a different place that I saw it. Somebody sent like a meme where it's like Xi Jinping comes back to San Francisco and he sees a poor man and he's like, oh, I lost everything because my jobs were taken by the Chinese. And he gives the guy like $100 bill. He passes another homeless guy and the guy says, oh, I got addicted to drugs imported from China. I've lost everything. And he gives him like $100. And then like another guy's like, I wasted all my money on Chinese stock. You fucked me up. And he gets stabbed to death by the homeless guy.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps things up.
No, hold on. I had like one more thing, but I totally forgot what it was now.
Okay.
It was something along the Rizz thing.
Well, you can't just sit there and think about it after you
While
said
you're
I
thinking
had one
about
more thing.
that, how do we feel about the Jewish tunnels in New York?
No.
Get away. Get away. Stop.
Ending the episode. That was a shit. Fuck. There's still I want to end it, but at the same time, I don't want to end it in case I remember it like as soon as we end it.
Stephen Hawking went to Epstein's Island. How do we feel about that?
Stephen Hawking. You know, did he
It's like that one house track? Push me and then just touch me. Like that song.
What?
You don't know the one house track where it's like a auto-tune vocal, or not auto-tune, like computer generated vocal?
No.
How?
I don't know. Maybe I have to hear it. But
they played it at like our favorite bartender's bar like more than once, I'm pretty sure. I think the last time we were there.
I'm not recalling the rhythm based on how you're singing it there.
Satisfaction?
This is not
Till I get my satisfaction.
Stephen Hawking on the mix, or...
Does Stephen Hawking actually like midgets on chalkboards?
Where did this come from? Is this like actually in the text?
That was not in the text.
Oh, okay.
Was it not?
No, that wasn't.
I thought it was.
No, I don't. From what I heard, no. But
that's disappointing.
Now there was a reference that made about a Stephen, and apparently, it's unclear exactly because, I think he there could have been a confusion as to which Stephen was being talked about. So it's not even like 100, or apparently according to that, it's not like 100% that he was like on the island, like necessarily, but it's like inferred from what was said, I think.
Okay.
Or maybe like it was said that it was him, but it seems like it could have been referring to somebody else and it was just a mistake that he was named or something like that, but it's also just possible that, that I don't know. I don't know what it was.
No,
it's
bro.
possible
He was
that,
cheated on his wife and got with the new lady, right?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that what that movie's about?
So I mean, he got that wheelchair Rizz.
Now, whoever this Stephen was did partake in a certain action with a group of
midgets,
youngins.
Oh,
youngins.
Have you noticed that midgets are a thing in porn now? I'm just saying. I'm seeing a correlation here.
Wait, are a thing now?
Yeah, like Baby Alien.
Oh, Baby Alien, yeah.
What?
And like the Baby Alien woman.
Oh, I know.
There's like a female version.
There's a female.
Yeah, they call her like Baby Alien Girl. It's unoriginal, but Yeah,
that's kind of disappointing.
Every yin has to have their yang.
Somebody should turn that into a meme. The thing is also they both bring them like people that want to partake in intercourse with them as well, like the girl and the guy. It's crazy. All you gotta do is look like a freak and then you can get laid.
I was watching a podcast and one of the guests said, well, she didn't mention it like on purpose, but she was explaining why she did it with a Baby Alien. And it's because of the marketing. it like boosts your career like crazy.
Mm-hmm. But it's not
because
like
like
she
it's
actually
kind of
wanted
like
to do it.
no, it's like a business. It's because like of the shock factor, and that's kind
Right.
of like why everything gets popular in like any kind of industry like that that's revolving around some form of entertainment.
Of course.
So like someone's like, "Oh my god, bro, look at this guy, look at what he's doing," and like they watch it as like a joke or whatever, and then but it still gets some views, which is revenue.
Right. Well, I'm sure that guy still gets action to this day. You know, he's famous now.
Like yeah, he has to. He's a commodity now.
I'd rather smash Baby Alien Girl though. She didn't look that bad compared to Baby Alien.
I would
Like
hope so.
if a woman looked like Baby Alien, right, is what I'm saying, I would not want to smash that at all, whatsoever. The other one, the alternative, the woman one, didn't look that bad. She was just kind of like a midget.
Hold on, let me see what we got here.
All right, who you smashing, Baby Alien or Beelzebub?
Who?
Beelzebub.
The black short guy from the memes.
Well,
no, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, yeah.
Not Beelzebub.
Well, that guy, I don't think he's a sentient creature. Well, he is sentient, but I don't think he's I don't think he's aware of his existence almost.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah, he's almost like he's out of it, dude.
So is that better or worse?
No, that's worse. It's like, well, actually, I don't know. Because like, you know, the thing is like, let's say, well, you know, your moral standards would tell you that it's wrong, like to do it with an animal, right? But like, you know, the thing is they don't know anything. They're just kind of like property, right? So like, I mean, you know, whatever. It just happens. Now the other one, the baby alien guy, he's aware of it. So I mean, depends on whether he says yes or no.
I don't think they have a choice in this situation. You just got to go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you mean by that?
Which one of these money?
Which one of these little you know, tree stumps am I gonna stick it in?
That sounds like a question you got to answer.
I don't know.
I don't know. Beetlejuice is black, but the other guy's Indian, right? Or is he Hispanic? Is he like Mexican?
I think he's
looks
Indian.
like he's an Arab or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's both gross, but Beetlejuice kind of looks like a seal. You know, at least baby alien. I mean, he does look like literally a baby alien. Like, what? But you know, I don't know.
Fucking seal.
Yeah.
It's the eyes. I can see it.
Do you mean a seal or a walrus?
Well, I was gonna say a seal, but you know, actually a walrus. Actually, that is pretty accurate.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. If you're gonna go for like aquatic mammals, I would say a walrus is closer.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He does look like a walrus.
Cuckoo, cachoo. Yeah, I can't think of what I was gonna say. I'm really upset about it.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be pretty good too.
I don't know, man. But you know, the thing is, like, it's like if he had the ability to gain consciousness, I'd feel worse about it than him just being there as like whatever he is, right? But he's just the way he is, you know. He's always gonna be a walrus.
I don't even know what you're talking about at this point.
No, well, I'm saying like he's a sentient creature. It's just, you know, he's never really gonna gain any higher level of consciousness. He's always just gonna kind of be at that brain level.
What is he like clinically retarded or something?
Of course, look at him.
I thought he was. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just see the memes, bro.
I don't know. He could be playing it up, but I don't know, man. He's on a low brain function for sure.
Functional member of society. He just plays it up for the cameras.
He technically is a functional member. He is a productive member because he creates content that people watch and it produces revenue. So there you go.
He pays his taxes.
Could you say OnlyFans girls are productive members of society then?
Well, in a technical sense, I suppose. You know, the thing is, I think they're dumb as hell, but you know, whatever.
Well, somebody doesn't support sex work.
Okay, do you remember what you were going to say, or are we just going to wrap it up here?
What? Go ahead and John, say what you got to say.
On the OnlyFans topic, I had a boss who followed what is it? Bad Babies, Bad Barbie, Bad Babies. OnlyFans, yeah, and he said it was pretty mid.
Why would he do that? She blew up before.
Yeah,
But,
I
she
don't like
is
that. That's weird.
Yeah,
she
dude
is
was
over like of adult age.
probably
It's just
35,
everybody
40.
knows her as that like kind of like young girl.
Yeah, I don't know why he was following her. I just know that he was, and he said it was pretty mid, but he didn't want to unsubscribe.
That sounds like a cope.
Why would you not want to stop paying?
Gosh,
Yeah,
I
what
don't
the
know.
fuck? She's a billionaire already, isn't she? Like, what the fuck? Or maybe not a
But what
billionaire,
does that
but
even
she's
have to do?
rich.
Like, why would he want to stop giving money, or why would he not want to stop giving money to her?
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
it's,
Even if you use like the argument that he's supporting her, she doesn't need that.
Well, I'm
I
saying,
think
why would
he
he want to
was
support her? What reason would he have to want to support her?
I can't think of any good reasons. I can only think of bad
he was just
reasons.
waiting for better content. I really don't know. I just know that he
He's
did
holding out.
it. Yeah, maybe.
It's gonna get better eventually.
Yeah, L for that guy. I wonder if he still is. That was like
Womp
2 years
womp.
ago when she first like came out with it. I think
Text him.
I don't have his number, but
Probably a
Just be
good
like,
thing.
hey, you still got that? We'll review it on the show if he does.
Yo,
all right.
no.
We won't show it. We'll just review it.
All right.
All right.
You guys want to wrap it here?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm good.
John, it's been good having you on talking about pizza and all that. So
Yeah.
we'll see
Good
you when
being
we see you.
What was that?
We'll see you when we see you. But do you have
Yeah.
anything
See you
else?
when I see you. If you ever want me back, just let me know.
I think it's a resounding yes on my end.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, we still got to tell him about the. Oh shoot.
He's
My
making
heater.
his eggplant thing.
My heater's about to turn off. It's got a timer on it. But yeah, we still got to tell him about the whole London experience.
Yeah, that
That
was
shit show.
something.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been good.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you guys. Well, we won't see you guys, but you'll see us in like another week. Hit the buttons and shit. Like, subscribe. Yeah, you should subscribe, by the way, John.
Yeah, I've just been lurking on your YouTube channel. I'm like, I don't want to be the
Yeah,
first.
please don't.
Or how many do you have? Like 6?
Something like that.
Yeah.
We need money, bro.
Don't worry. You can't fail when you're the podcast ever.
That's true. We already won. All right, we're dragging this out. All right, see ya.